Brock Bowers is back. Cam Skattebo update. BTJ nursing the shoulder. Travis Hunter.
Stock on the rise.
Stock on the rise. Hendy news. Stevenson. Is he injured? This team's the Patriots looking to add a running back. Usually a sign of some sort of injury or concern. Does that mean it's Hendy time? Or do they bring in the running back off the streets and say, start over Hendy? We don't know, but we're excited because it seems like Hendy coming off a 70-yard, 10-carry, 7.0 plus yard per game type of outing might mean that Hendy's in line for a bigger workload. Breece Hall update. Terry McLaurin update. Juwan Jennings update. We've got a whole bunch of, look at all the news on screen. All of that and more. Super chats, phone calls, the Fantasy Football Show. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Every single Monday through Friday show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So let's start off with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is back, baby. He's back. And as I've said for 3 weeks now, the best buy low, one of the best buy lows in fantasy. I've had a handful of them. Henry, Barkley, Brock Bowers, Lamar Jackson, Lad McConkey. We've been doing it live. We've been doing it live.
On the rise.
We've been doing it live.
Mashed potatoes!
So now this man's coming back to try and take the number one tight end role, crown, designation away from Tyler Warren, who... I smell meatloaf! Hey, Ma, the meatloaf! The dark horse number one tight end on this channel. So we got a battle between the monsters, Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren, and everybody that bought low on this kid is going to reap the rewards. This is kind of that advantage point where it's like, I'm struggling here. I've lost this guy. I lost neighbors. I lost so-and-so. Nico's been out. Bucky Irvin's been sitting out. I've been struggling. This is your advantage point to anchor down your team at a position that everybody's struggling in a major way, unless you own Kraft, unless you own Tyler Warren, unless you own McBride. At times, there's a handful of tight ends that have been playing pretty well. Fan ends are looking pretty good going forward. Kelsey's picking it up, obviously. There's a lot of value out there, but it's a struggling position, one where if Bowers brings 100-yard capability nearly every other game, and this is a losing team that will be throwing from behind in the third and fourth quarter, different concern than for Genty, who it's like game flow, game script. Will they throw it to him if they're down? They need to. He's a great receiving back. But will they? Will they have the capability to throw to him? Well, I'll say this. The passing attack goes up significantly in terms of efficiency with this man on the board, and that in turn will help the running back production. But Bowers is going to be amazing. And Gadsden as well. Gadsden. I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf. I didn't name Gadsden when I was going through the gauntlet of tight end options. Gadsden, a big, channel fan, a friend of the channel. Like Gadsden is a player we've been hyping all off season. He's been on the waiver board every single week. So congrats to those with Gadsden. But this is the best buy low opportunity that still kind of lingers out there. He's cheaper than he should be. I'm not saying he's going to be cheap with this report. Raiders head coach Pete Carroll said that Brock Bowers' knee is practicing full speed for week 9 against the Jaguars. Now, this is important because it's Wednesday. Everybody's sitting Wednesday. Everybody's out. Everybody's nursing something. Wednesday's a ridiculous day to start panicking over he didn't practice. He's limited. Everyone's limited. At this point in the year, everyone's limited. But Brock Bowers is getting good reports on a Wednesday. We're looking good for week number 9, coming fresh off the bye week. Here are your bye week teams for this week. Make sure you know them. Cleveland, the Jets, the Eagles, Tampa Bay Bucks. Brock Bowers is back. Brock Bowers.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Brock Bowers is back. Woo! Doing it live. Doing it live. Let's see here. Next up would be, let's see, the next piece of news. Let's talk about, let me put this right here. Let's talk about Rhamondre Stevenson real quick. Rhamondre Stevenson nursing a toe injury. This could be a big deal. It might not be a big deal. We don't really fully know. But if, in fact, there's some sort of turf toe situation going on where he's got to sit a significant amount of time, guess who's potentially on the rise? Now, there is a world that we live in where somehow, some way, they circumvent the pecking order here. But I think 10 carries for 70 yards, 7 yards per carry on Sunday was proof that they are moving in a direction to use Hendy more and more. Vrabel said in a week prior to that game, we are going to make Hendy a big part of what we do going forward. So I do believe that this is potentially a turning point. Now, the Patriots are looking into adding another running back according to several reports, which is an indication and a telegraph that maybe this is actually an issue. It might not be. It's Wednesday. It's hard to know. Again, lots of limited practices, lots of trying to read between the lines and read the tea leaves. But apparently it does feel like Rhamondre toe injury is kind of in the cards. And no one's here celebrating injury. We're not trying to do that. But we are excited. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. We are excited about the opportunity that this situation could afford this man that should be the guy that should be starting. His stock is on the rise. We'll have more information on Hendy's workload, I'm sure, as the week moves along, and that will help us guide you on your start bench decision. So understand that we don't fully know yet. There's going to be a lot of Hendy questions today. We'll have to kind of navigate those lightly and tread water until we know what's fully going on. Let's see. Next player. Let's update Cam Skattebo real quickly. We got a good report for the most part on Cam Skattebo's situation. The Scat Man, let me see if I can get his graphic up. The Scat Man is reportedly Skattebo had a very successful surgery. Let me go over the details, the finer details of the surgery. So essentially what happened with Scat is he, as you know, dislocated his ankle. Let me get my foot model out. And there are all kinds of ligaments and blood flow supply problems, fractured bones. He ended up fracturing his fibula, so they have to put a screw through there, and that is definitely not, a great thing, but this could have went a lot worse. He damaged some ligaments at the bottom part of his ankle. Nothing super high, no breaks super high. And as you know, with high ankle sprains versus low ankle sprains, everything high is kind of a problem. Everything low is a little bit better. There's a lot of unknowns still, because a lot of times we don't get all the details. A lot of times we get word on second surgery coming up, et cetera, et cetera. But everything that we know now to be true, this guy is walking out with a pretty solid report. And so if I had to take a guess on what this guy's 2026 season looks like, I would say back by mid-season, potentially. I think he'll be hampered through the majority of that season from when he comes back on. I think he'll show signs of his old self. The problem is he's a battering ram, and I don't know if he knows how to go less than 100%. And when he gets back, he won't be able to do some of the things that he's been doing. And I'm just a little bit afraid of that. But at the same time, the report on this surgery seems to be pretty solid. And it wasn't like he suffered multiple ligament injuries, so he escaped pretty well. If I had to predict whether he can get back to form, I'd say maybe he could be 90% of what he used to be a year and a half after his surgery. Maybe 2 years. I do not think he walks into any part of next year resembling the same player. We've seen Dak Prescott, Chris Godwin, older players, different players. This is a running back. This is a player that's, specializes in running between the tackles, so he's going to respond differently. He's also much younger than Godwin or Dak Prescott, more athletic, more mobile, but he also is a running back that is, he depends upon his feet being the same quickness, hitting that hole. So it's going to be a very difficult climb back for him. But the good news is he's young. I would say if you hold Cam Skattebo, I would say expect there to be a chance that he could return to his old self. I know I said initially this is such a bad injury. The likelihood of him not tearing multiple ligaments and having such a disastrous outcome is low. The man seemed to escape the most brutal of injuries with maybe one of the better best case scenario situations that we could have asked for. So I'm not saying it's ideal. I'm not saying even having the one damaged ligament is really a good thing. But at the end of the day, this guy probably escaped a more severe situation. And there is a chance that 2 years from now, this next year, it's not going to happen. But a full year and a half from now, he could be potentially close to his old self if he avoids setbacks. Now, the problem is this stuff is not as clean and easy usually on the way back. If there's any sort of setback or second surgery or third surgery that's needed, we need to dial back our expectations that we'll ever see the same Skattebo. But if he did in fact escape what we believe he did, there's a real good chance that in 1.5 years to 2 years, we could see the Skattebo that we saw developing on the field. So that's good news. We couldn't have got better news. And let's be very, very hopeful and be very cautious at the same time. No one should be going out there and trading for Skattebo on the value that he will be a running back one, within a year and a half or something. You need to be hopeful. If you own him, you hold him. But devastating injury regardless. This piece of news right here, Breece Hall, he's 8 feet tall. We know that. Everybody knows that. Possible trade on the horizon potentially, but also there's a possible contract extension on the horizon. He played so well in week number 8. 3 touchdowns, hat trick, tossing a touchdown in one of those 3. He looks so good that this team is going to be obligated to take a look under the hood and say, damn, how many more miles can this guy go? Maybe we were wrong about this. Maybe we should keep this kid on roster. That's kind of the downside, the good side and downside. The downside is this is kind of a death trap for fantasy football talent. It really is. Garrett Wilson, who's going to be his quarterback next year? Are they going to halfway commit to Fields again and have no backup plan? You know what it feels like? Fields feels a lot like Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. It's like there's enough being done that they bring back the quarterback, but they don't have a backup plan. And it's just an inevitable disappointment later waiting for you. And I like Fields, but I don't think Fields gets set up well. I think Fields always gets screwed by his coaching, by his system, by everything. And at the end of the day, I don't know that we want Breece Hall leaving. I don't know that we want him staying. It's kind of a, you get what you ask for. You got to be careful what you ask for because right now he's producing. But if Fields gets pulled, if things go awry, it's the New York Jets. 1 week this offense can produce, 1 week it can't. There's a world where we're upset that he stays, and there's a world where he gets traded to a team, even the Chiefs, let's say, and Andy Reid does some sort of wild, we'll ease him into the offense. It takes him 3-4 weeks to get him 10+ carry. Like that could happen too. I know we think it can't because we're just wanting some change, but sometimes, you got to be careful what you ask for. I think that Breece Hall, had he not had as big of a game in week number 8, scoring 3 touchdowns, a hat trick, he'd probably be on the move. I think he played himself into a dilemma now where this Jet team is going, damn, everybody else is telling us how good he is. We clearly don't know what the hell we're doing. Let's maybe sign him. So we'll see. Breece is like Bijan last year. You remember Bijan? Calm Bijan. Bijan, I made Bijan take a lap once. I don't know if you guys remember. I sent Bijan on a lap. And the reason I sent Bijan on a lap is his entire rookie year, he had no dog in him. No dog in him at all. This is the best running back in the National Football League from every single level of talent and category of play that you can measure. And he was sitting there quietly, not asking for the ball, not being any sort of diva at all. We wanted a little bit of diva, a little bit of response. He's like, yes, sir. Bijan would come out of a game as the 3rd string goal line running back and put I'm so grateful for everything on his Instagram stories. And we got tired of it his rookie year. We actually sent Bijan on a lap and said, get that dog in you, pal. Get that dog and you go get the ball. A dog needs to have his bone. And so that was kind of frustrating. But now Bijan's a dog. He's a dog. And Breece Hall, in the same way, has been just kind of nonchalant. Oh, whatever's in the game plan. I want to stay here. I don't know. I mean, if they want me here, I got to prove myself. He had no dog in him. But he walked into week number 8, according to himself. He talked about this after the game. He walked in. He said, I want the ball. He said he went up to his coach and said, I need the ball. I need the ball 20 times. And his coach said, okay. He says, I need the ball 20 times. That's what Breece Hall said. He said he told his head coach, Aaron Glenn, I need the ball 20 times. He finally got the dog in him. What happened? 3 touchdowns. What happened? 3 touchdowns. Breece Hall did it live.
Get Breece.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall in the third.
I don't know what state of mind he's in terms of wanting to stay in New York. Remember Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley didn't even know what was good for him. Saquon Barkley didn't know what was good for him. He wanted to stay in New York. He actually wanted to stay in New York, where they kept failing him over and over. Instead of going to Philadelphia to go win a championship, he tried everything he could to stay. And that GM over there, who, you could say Skattebo, Jackson Dart, Neighbors is looking good, but he's getting a lot of help. His son knows more ball than him. The Shine Box. So, Shine Box, just making awful decisions, and then letting other people help him make good decisions. This guy was given an opportunity to bring back Barkley, and he said too expensive. They let him go to Philly. The owner was devastated. The owner was sitting on his desk during the Hard Knocks episode that was filmed, and Shinebox just sat there dumbfounded, smiling like, yeah, Barkley, we lost Barkley. Barkley didn't know what was good for him. This reminds me a lot of Barkley and Shinebox. This guy's like, yeah, I kind of want to stay. He's not being used. Now, maybe he will moving forward. Maybe his plea, give me the ball, is his change in attitude. Like, I want the ball or I want out. We don't know. And there's been reports about him potentially wanting to leave. There's been some coy and shady like tweets and Instagram story posts that he's put up. Like, they don't believe in me. They want to hold me back. Free Breece. He put free Breece. Part of free Breece was getting more carries, like let him loose. Part of people think that free Breece meant he wanted a trade. Then he was interviewed after the Instagram and tweet and everything and saying that, he wants to stay in New York. Who the hell knows? All we know is that Breece Hall needs to be fed. When you give him 20 carries a game, good things happen. Where will he be? Your guess is as good as mine, because the man may have played himself out of a trade. He may have played himself into much more trade value, though. So a decision does have to be made by the New York Jets whether they want to use this increased value from Week 8, 3-touchdown hat trick Breece Hall, and take that into a big trade. We don't know. We'll kind of find out more as the week moves along. Now, this guy right here, Travis Hunter, just saw an increase in value yesterday, the day before that. On the rise, Travis Hunter. BTJ's nursing a shoulder injury. Now, he was seen at practice. He was limited on Wednesday. Again, Wednesday's very hard to judge because everyone and their mother's limited. But it does appear he has a shot at playing week number 9, coming off of the bye week, but he's going to be very limited. I don't think he'll be 100% for the rest of the season. So you heard the report yesterday, the report the day before, that Liam Cohen and the Jaguars want to give Travis Hunter the wide receiver 1 treatment, that this guy is going to transition into their number 1 wide receiver option. That's part of why this guy's pissed off. That's part of why BTJ hasn't really been the same. BTJ's been like a jealous girlfriend that has been watching this man get the touting. They spent the draft capital on him. Essentially, BTJ inside has been struggling with this dilemma because he feels like he went out and proved that he's the number 1, and here you go drafting this guy at heights that you can't explain. Like, this is the golden boy. He's been struggling so bad this year. He's such a good player. I'm not ready to write him off. I do believe that if Brian Thomas Jr. lands in a new spot where he can be the bona fide number one, he will rebound. But I think right now he's in his own head. He's also being a diva. He's also got a shoulder injury. He's banged up pretty badly. And I don't think he's in the right headspace to play well with the banged up shoulder. He dodges footballs because he's afraid that they're hospital balls. I don't blame him in some respects, but he's obviously not putting all of his ability on the field and actually giving 110%. He's lollygagging around. He stops running his route. When the ball's on the other side of the field and there's a play ensuing, he stops running around. He doesn't block. He doesn't try and do anything. This is the definition of someone dogging it. He's dogging it. And now he's got a shoulder injury. Possibly it's an AC joint sprain, some stuff under wraps, but what we do know is it's an AC joint sprain where the collarbone meets the shoulder, and it seems to be not a severe one, but it's one where he's going to wear, or I'm sorry, he has the actual potential dislocation. I'm sorry. Judkins has the AC joint sprain. This guy might actually have a dislocation of the shoulder similar to Xavier Worthy. I apologize. And so he's got a jacket on to hold that ball and socket in place. And as you know, with rotator cuffs injuries, like I've explained before, here's the ball and socket. The ball is designed by God to fit exactly in here and slide out like that. It's not tight at all. But there's a labrum. You can almost think of the labrum as a potential rubber seal, right? Almost like a lip that would go inside this and hold the ball into place. And when that ball and socket, it's a tight fit. That rubber seal makes it an impossible for the ball and socket to come in and out unless a lot of extreme force is there. So when the ball and socket come out, it rips somewhere on that seal. And a lot of the times you'll see, like in Lethal Weapon, he pop his shoulder back into place. Every time you do that, you're risking tearing that labrum. And usually there is a way to get the shoulder back into place without doing more damage, because there's a rip in a place where it can slide in and out like a puzzle piece, like a key. So I would say this, like Xavier Worthy, he could play all year. Xavier Worthy and Brian Thomas Jr. both dealing with a jacket on the shoulder. But here's the thing. This guy's been struggling mentally and physically all year while healthy. What in the hell do you think he's going to do with a jacket that limits one arm going up? Worthy's been doing great, but Brian Thomas Jr. I don't think is going to thrive in this situation. However, I would buy low. However, if he gets traded to New England, I'm excited. I think a lot of it depends on his mentality. If he goes to New England to be the number one, I'm excited. I'm especially excited for the future, but I'm excited for the remainder of the year. If he stays in Jacksonville where he's in his own head, I don't know that he overcomes the shoulder injury, the flak jacket, all that quickly. It might eventually end up being where he plays well and it's, he's a decent buy low for sure. I would still buy him low. He's dirt cheap. He's seller dweller pricing. I'd take a gamble on BTJ and a throw-in trade any day of the week. This is a potential wide receiver one. But this guy is leaning toward the wide receiver one workload. This guy's leaning toward probably being a disappointment some weeks, and you just got to decide what you want to do. All right, let's move on from this, but we've got some great news that Travis Hunter is on the rise. That news obviously broke yesterday and the day before, but we're still living high on that news. McLaurin, this is not good news. McLaurin already re-injured. He re-injured his quad, will not play week 9. It is Wednesday, and he's being ruled out for week 9. That should tell you that week 10, week 11, they're all in question. That means Deebo Samuel goes back up in value. Deebo was thriving without McLaurin, with JD5. Deebo's only been struggling for really 2 games. I know it feels like it's been longer, but he did miss 1 game. But Deebo will, once again, I believe, return to some sort of low or at least high-end wide receiver 2 form. If he can stay healthy and that heel doesn't get worse, it gets better, and JD5 stays on the field, this is great news for Deebo Samuel. So great news for Deebo, bad news for Terry McLaurin, and we don't know when Terry McLaurin will play again. The fact that he re-injured his quad, let me tell you something. When you re-injure something, Like, let's say this is 10 is healthy, 0 is completely done for the year, and this is Terry. And his quad is, let's say, at a 7. Okay, and then he goes out there, he's at a 7.5, and he starts playing again, and he re-injures that thing in week number 8. He re-injures it. If this is where he was when he injured it at a 7, you don't re-injure it back down to a 7. You end up re-injuring it to an even worse state, unless it's an entirely different injury. It's not like you go back down to ground zero. You're doing further damage. And so there's a high likelihood that Scary Terry ends up missing a significant amount of time. I can't guarantee that. I don't know that. We're speculating on this. It could be that it's a totally different injury. I don't think it is. It could be because they've been very coy about it. We've heard a lot of quad injuries turn into abdominal injuries, and there's a lot of other things that come out of these groin injuries and quad injuries. I feel like not only are they misdiagnosed in many ways, but we're oftentimes hearing people break news about them in wrong ways. So we don't even fully know what's going on. I would not be surprised if this turned into an abdominal injury or something of that sort. But re-injuring the quad, if it's the exact same injury and not a potential compensation off of the original, and it is the exact same injury, then he's back below ground zero with the injury. But McLaurin injured again. It was a shame because he looked fantastic in the game. He was going to return to probably low-end wide receiver 1 numbers, but this is part of the price you pay when you hold out and don't play. And this is why the Commanders didn't want to pay him necessarily, because he's getting older and he could break down and start getting hurt. But this is why the Commanders should have signed him early. If they're going to do it at all, they should have signed him early so they didn't have the man walking into a compensation injury because he held out for so long and was thrown to the wolves and wasn't ready for football. When will these teams realize that a holdout leads to injury? 9 times out of 10, you hold out, you get injured. Why in the hell are you waiting to sign players and then throwing your money down the drain? Deebo Samuel on the rise.
On the rise.
Lamar Jackson, hamstring, removed from the injury report and will play week number 9, one of the best buy lows in fantasy the last 2 weeks for your boy, and it's going to pay dividends.
I smell meatloaf.
It's going to pay dividends. If you listen to this advice, you're going to start winning in ways you've never won this year, and it's going to feel great, baby. It's going to feel great. Drake London, limited Wednesday. Really kind of, in my opinion, a very, very questionable, chance to play week number 9. We'll see. This team is bye week free. That means Drake London is without his bye. He's already had it. So, he's such a good player to trade for if he does end up playing and getting healthy. Now, I will say this. Hip injuries are weird because they seem like they're minor, and sometimes they very well can be minor. Hip pointer. It depends how severe it is. It's sometimes deceptive. So we don't really know how bad this is, but he should be able to play unless this is being reported like a little bit like it's lesser than it is. So we'll find out. Hopefully he plays. He seems to get banged up a lot. I don't know how I feel about Drake London staying healthy moving forward. Is it just a weird year? Is this something we're going to have to see? Is it the way he plays? He's kind of a guy that catches hospital balls across the middle of the field. He's kind of a jump ball specialist, which puts him like Neighbors in a lot of susceptible situations where he's horizontal and landing on the ground, getting hit, getting hung up by 2 or 3 defenders. I don't know. I would say he's still a good buy low because it's not like he's ruled out, and it's not like he's got some sort of injury like the hip flexor is going to be something that takes him out for multiple games or any sort of long-term injury. It might be a 1-week sit and then he comes back, but I think he's about 50-50, maybe 55-45 in favor of playing, but that could change with a little bit of a wind gust. So keep tabs on that one. Let me see if we got any other news here. We got Brock Bowers, the Rhamondre Stevenson news, Skattebo, successful ankle surgery. looking good there. Kareem Hunt in the news. Kareem Hunt practicing in full for week number 9. It looked like he was going to be done for the year on that ankle injury, if you remember back during that game. And we're like, oh boy, pick up Rhamondre Stevenson. And Hunt looked done. They were like helping him off the field. He was like as if he had crutches. And then he comes back onto the field later in the game. Apparently he's fine. He's kind of a vulture. I do think Brashard Smith with the Pacheco MCL injury, if you remember, Pacheco looked like he tore his ACL during the game on Sunday, but then came back off the training table, hopping around and jumping and screaming because they did an ACL check, and his ACL was, in fact, intact. But his knee bent in such a way there's no way he didn't tear either his LCL or MCL. Looking back, we realized it was an MCL lean with the knee. So MCL tear, probably very minor, but it's going to be a week or two potentially for Pacheco. So Hunt, Brashard Smith, don't be surprised if this triggers KC into exploring a little more the idea of maybe trading for Breece Hall or for Kenneth Walker or for Charbonnet or for any other running back that might be available to trade for. The Giants could also be a team that looks into maybe trading for a running back. Kind of depends on how I think they play this week. The trade deadline. I can't even wait. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Kareem Hunt, practicing in full. So, fire him up if you got him. He's a pretty decent play. Chris Olave ankle is practicing in full for week number 9. That's kind of nice. I mean, on a Wednesday to hear that, you know that he's probably pretty good. But Chris Olave, kind of a walking injury, but a potential trade candidate. I think the New England Patriots are very much in the mix for a wide receiver. I think they're very much in the mix for a Chris Olave, for a BTJ. It depends on who's available, but Chris Olave to New England would be a very, very interesting maneuver by the New England Patriots, who will have Drake May playing like one of the best deep ball players that's ever played the game. I'm not saying he will be remembered that way, but right now Drake May, according to the data, is the best deep ball thrower in an 8-game stretch that's ever been. He's had such a good deep throw and accuracy, and the numbers don't lie. He's by far and away having the best deep ball season that's been recorded in the last, couple decades. It's been unbelievable. So Drake May, get him a receiver like Drake London, type of player. BTJ will qualify. Olave's not Drake London-esque, but Olave would be fantastic. Juwan Jennings deleted or deactivated, is the better word, his Instagram. Didn't they just pay him again? Am I wrong? Didn't he get paid twice? They paid him and then they bumped him again, right? Because he complained? Yeah. So he's gotten 2 bumps and this guy's complaining again. He hasn't even been able to stay on the field. Is this what he's trying to do? I mean, what in the hell's wrong with this guy? Juwan Jennings going ghost mode. Just ghosting everybody in social media right now. For what reason, we don't know. Does he want a new contract? Who knows? Trade between cornerback Michael Carter, or between the Jets and the Eagles. Michael Carter goes to the Eagles. The Eagles do it again. Howie in his bag. Mechie going to the Jets. Does this mean that Garrett Wilson could be on the move? It's possible. It's possible that this is just a part of them laying off salary and doing all this stuff. But you do think about Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall as being potential trade pieces for a rebuilding team like the New York Jets. It would be very, very awesome. It'd be probably the best move of them all if Garrett Wilson can land in New England. Why don't we push all of our chips in for Garrett Wilson to go to New England instead of BTJ or Olave? Because Garrett Wilson in New England will be unreal. I mean, this is a guy that Drake May, that's already one of the best deep ball specialists in the game. This guy qualifies, but this guy also qualifies for a lot of that over the middle short yardage wide receiver work. It would well round Drake May's game in the New England Patriot passing attack. If it was me, I would do whatever it took to get Garrett Wilson. I'd give up whatever it took to get Garrett Wilson. First rounder and some. No doubt in my mind, I'm surrendering that for Garrett Wilson. I would make an offer that the Jets could not refuse. Garrett Wilson, Drake May, will be unbelievable. It will be unbelievable. It's the only thing that I think we should be asking for right now in this greedy time as this, trade deadline approaches. Drake May, Garrett Wilson, do it live. That's better than BTJ. That's better than Chris Olave. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson on the New England Patriots roster than both Olave and BTJ for Drake May. JJ McCarthy, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell told reporters when talking to him about the health of McCarthy that he's healthy and he's expected to be a full week of practice before playing week 9 against the Lions. This is going to be a big game for McCarthy. I hope he does bounce back from what was kind of a letdown off of a big first game, but I'm starting to feel like a lot of that inconsistency is there for him, and I don't know how I feel about McCarthy. And honestly, as much as Wentz is better for JJ in a sense, he can't stay healthy, so it's not a long-term answer even on the season. It's not even a long-term answer. So we got to know what McCarthy's capable of doing, and I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens. But and then of course this is news from the last couple days, but I keep referencing it because he's one of my best favorite buy low players of the week. Dave Canales saying that Chuba Hubbard has meant a lot to the team, and they wanted to give him a chance and an opportunity following the calf injury, but they can no longer ignore Rico Dowdle's explosiveness, and Rico Dowdle is, in all intents and purposes, resuming his mother freaking wide receiver or running back 1 role in Carolina. So Uncle Rico is one of the best buy lows in fantasy right now. Go buy him low. His stock is back on the rise. This is a low end running back 1 potentially in fantasy going forward, and he makes such a fine potential 2-for-1 trade. Like if you've got a St. Brown and you're not winning, no one's saying trade St. Brown if you're winning with St. Brown, but if you're losing with St. Brown, then how are you going to win with St. Brown? You're not doing it now. So if you're to trade him off for a Dowdle and another player, let's call it Garrett Wilson or whoever that you believe is going to come back on a tear, Adams makes some sense too. Adams and Dowdle for St. Brown. Those are the moves you should be making and doing them live and doing them now before it's too late, because Dowdle is on the rise. He's back on the rise. And Hutchinson, 4-year, $180 million contract extension with the Lions. That's fantastic. Congrats to him. Now we get to the super chats. Then we go to the phone lines, and let's break down as much as we can in the next hour or so. This one here from age 13. I got your $20 holler on screen. Appreciate you, young man, for dropping that. Thank you very, very much. I'll get to your super chat in 1 second. Onion, appreciate your $20 super chat, young man. I'll be with you in just 1 second, kind sir. Vinny with a $20 holler. I'll answer your super chat in 1 second, my good man. And then this one here from Jose, dropping the first super chat of the evening. And it's also, on top of being the first super chat of the evening, it is a $20 holler, I might add.
Mashed potatoes!
And so this in bunk bed fashion, pushing all the beds together, bunk bed style, to save room and time. Here's your $20 holler celebrations, gentlemen.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, let's bring these over to the high roller room. Appreciate you guys for dropping those 20 wads. Let's handle them in order in which they were received. Jose, thanks again for that 20 yesterday, Lego Batman. Thoughts on this trade, Bucky and Ladd for Jamar Chase, currently 4-4. Look, you got to take that. You got to take that trade. You're 4-4 right now, Bucky. There's still some concerns about, what's he going to look like after this bye week. We don't have anything. I would definitely take Jamar Chase. I think the entire chat would. That's a total Smitty approved trade.
You've just been Smitty.
Easy. Smitty, 3-5, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Warren. Actually, let me pull up your team one more time and see what was that? Was that whose question was that? Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was Jose's. Jose, what else can we advise you on this team real quickly? 4-4. Your team looks great. Your team looks great now. So you've got Drake May, Henry, Etienne, London, Ladd, Jamar Chase, Bowers. Bowers is going to come back on a tear. Maybe we're moving Kamara and Tet, trying to get an Adams or better. trying to get a Barkley on the bye week with being injured, trying to get Tootin even as just a move to get Tootin and Etienne together so that you're secured up at that running back 2 spot. But I love this team, and I think my trade points would be even trade to the Tootin owner, Etienne and Tet for one player. But Kamara and Tet for one big monster. JJ even would work. That's what I'm doing with that squad. Thank you very much. Vinny Testaverde says, good old member Vinny. Smitty, 3 and 5. CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers, JD5 Debo, Rico. Okay. How does the team look? Team looks great. CeeDee Lamb is fantastic. Tyler Warren, unbelievable. Brock Bowers. So you're probably trading one of these tight ends, in my opinion. And now that Bowers is back, you could trade him for a lot if someone's willing to overpay, or you could trade Tyler Warren, whichever one the person that's inquiring wants because you want to get a deal done. Debo's going to be back on the rise. Hunter's on the rise right now. Hampton, JCM, DJ Moore. This is a good squad, though, bro. I mean, I think it's going to come together. I just would trade one of those tight ends. One of those tight ends in Debo, one of those tight ends in Hunter, one of those tight ends in Charbonnet, maybe to the Walker owner, one of those tight ends in Hampton for that one player. I'm going after JJ. I'm going after Kyren. I'm going after Genty in some respects. You know, the tight end straight up for Genty's interesting. I'm going after Buka. I'm going after Nico coming off the injury. Those are all moves that I think I would try and deploy in that situation. Onion, thank you for the super chat. 4 and 4, full PPR, kicker, premium, 7 points for 50 plus. Dart, A-Rod, Gibbs, Bucky, Rico. Love where Rico steps in here. Maybe Hendy too, and gives you some trade value next week. Rice, Buka, Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen, Fannin, Evan Ingram. Okay, I like this. Kicker, Pinheiro. Trade ideas. I'd probably say with this squad, I'm looking to maybe. I look. I like Gibbs and Rico and Hendy. Maybe you move Bucky, and I don't know if you can only start 3 wide receivers. I maybe just stand down. But if you could start a 4th wide receiver as a second flex or something, I would consider strongly moving Bucky and Keenan for JJ and trying to just get that bigger Nico, a bigger player out of the duo, and giving up the running back as he's inching closer to coming back. Past that, I don't know that there's a whole lot to do. If you can start 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs in a flex, then you're kind of in a bind every week once Bucky comes back because you're starting Rico. And then you're using all 3 of those wide receivers. I don't think there's a lot to do here. Keenan Allen and Bucky for just one slightly better player. Just slightly better. I think that's safer. In some cases, you might be looking like you're taking a bath on the trade, too, because someone might look at Bucky and say Bucky's better. But, I mean, if you could go after a Bucky, let's see, Bucky, you got Buka already. Bucky that's a tough one, bro. I almost think you stand down. Achan, Kyren. I like Judkins, bro. Bucky for Judkins. Chat, would you rather take the gamble on Bucky coming back after this bye week or Judkins coming back healthy after this bye week? It's kind of a tough call. I don't know. I'd take Kyren or Achan for sure. I'd take Barkley for sure. I'd maybe trade Bucky for Genty, but man, if Bucky comes back on a tear, you're going to be upset. I get it. I don't know. Bucky's a tough call. I think, Onion, you're not going to like this answer because I'm not telling you to do much. I'm probably just holding. It's a really good squad. It's kind of coming together. Bucky's about to come back. Rico's stepping up in the nick of time. Hendy's stepping up. Maybe you trade. I guess you could look at Bucky and Dart for like a Mahomes or a Lamar. Try Lamar, Onion. If the Lamar owner has May or Dak or somebody, try and get Lamar using Bucky. And try and get more if you can, like a Keenan Allen 2-for-2 swap. But, Lamar with this squad, with Rico and Hendy stepping up, I'd maybe strongly consider that. I like Dart, but, bro, Lamar would be fantastic. That's going to be my answer, final answer. Love the Buckmeister, but I definitely would be very, very intrigued by that. Baker, Stafford, running back Kyron, Judkins, Chase Brown, Dowdle. Love the running back stable. Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson, very similar team that this guy had. MHJ, Flowers, Addison, Kelsey got off for Bijan and Buka and Johnston for my Rashee Rice, Flowers, and Kyron. Bijan, Buka, Johnston for Rice, Kyron, Flowers. I'd take Bijan. I would take that. He also has Jacobs. Well, I'd love to get Jacobs too, but what are you going to give up? Jacobs and potentially you could get Jacobs included for MHJ and Addison. I would do that, or Woody, and I love Woody, but Woody and MHJ to get Jacobs thrown in there, that would be freaking awesome. But I love that trade for you. Go get Bijan. I don't hate it on the other side either, though. If, like, let's say he pulled it, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It's a very, very close trade. Chase Higgins, Tracy for London, MHJ, Kyron. Give me Jamar Chase side, because I think Higgins is not Kyron, but he's closer to Kyron than London is Jamar Chase. I think is where I'm going to lean on that. But it's a really close call, I suppose. Move MHJ for Hunter in Dynasty. I'd rather have Hunter by a ton. Do I ask for Sutton too? I mean, you could try, but I'd definitely make that trade. Trade my Tootin for Tracy. In redraft, I'm okay with this if you need now production from Tracy, but I do like Tootin quietly better like weeks from now. Someone dropped Chuba, full load drop. I mean, I don't know why you would think that, TM42. He's losing his job. Would I pick him up? Yes, but full load drop, no. If you had Dowdle, then it would make sense to maybe think like that, I suppose. But I don't know if you're a week behind on the news, my boy, but Chuba's losing his job. I definitely like him. Go grab him, but no one's racing the full load drop on Chuba Hubbard. Rico, Woody, Harvey, Mason, BTJ, Shakir. Thank you, TM42. I'm going to go 2-for-1 ideas. I'm going to probably say BTJ, and I love Rico. I'm not really in the business of trading him, and I don't think you get enough for him. So it'd be like BTJ and Mason for like one Adams, for one potential Chase Brown, for a running back. Like, let's say you can get Jacobs for that. Would I trade Woody and BTJ for Jacobs? Probably. Would I trade Woody and BTJ for London, who people are worried about, or Garrett Wilson? Sure. Buka, injured. Sure. Are you going to get all those? Probably not. But Adams might be attainable. I'd take Adams for BTJ and Woody. Just try to get Adams or above, and don't stray away from trying to get like a Nico Collins, because you never know if someone's willing to surrender or something like that until you try. Lego Batman with a $20 hauler. Lego to the mother freaking moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, Lego, for the super chat, my man. Lego Batman to the mother freaking moon. We got BBQ with a $20 hauler. BBQ, thank you, pal. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
BBQ, thank you, pal. If you aren't taking advantage of the Patreon, you really need to join the community. Ride the roller coaster of emotions during the games as we go through the 5 stages of fantasy football grief. Thank you, BBQ. Appreciate you dropping that. And if anybody wants to join the Patreon, let me throw the Patreon link in the live chat right now. It's in the live chat pin, but I'll pin this fresh link. Hit the link if you want to sign up on the Patreon. It's 24/7, 365 live chat group that BBQ, myself, Travis, we're all a part of. And it's just 24/7, 365 live fantasy football talk. Trade talk. We talk movies and TV on there. We talk whatever, news, everything. We break news. You're basically not going to find a place, even like Twitter, you're going to find, because there's all these people trying to race to impress everybody to post the first time. Like, hey, did you hear the news? It's really a great news source. You're going to hear sometimes somebody posts something on the Patreon before I even see it, or right as I'm seeing it, because I have a lot of different alerts everywhere. But the Patreon's a great place to never miss a piece of breaking news. So get on over to the Patreon, 24/7, 365 live chat. Hit it, do it live. Links in the live chat, links in the description, patreon.com/the fantasy football show as well, if you want to go there in a browser. Traded Tyler Warren for Bowers and Sutton. I love Tyler Warren, but I would take Sutton if I needed this, this wide receiver piece. It's a decent move. Just traded waiver pickup Bam and Fannin for Debo. I'm fine with that trade as well. That's fantastic. Trade Chase Brown and Genty for Bijan. I would take Bijan in a heartbeat. Not it doesn't even matter who else you have. That's just that value you can't pass up. Give Tracy for Addison. I'd probably rather have Addison if I needed a wide receiver. I'd probably rather have Tracy if I needed a running back, meaning it's a very even Steven trade. Dynasty Superflex PPR trade away JCM for Dowdle and Milrow. What do you think I'm going to say, Jonathan? What do you think I'm going to say? I'm only telling everybody to go get Rico and go do it now. JCM's almost droppable, and it's unfortunate because we love him. But, of course, you're taking the Dowdle side. Nice job if you get that done. Traded for Hendy last week. He looks to explode soon. We hope so. It feels like we're inching closer to that. Can't wait for it. Just traded HN and Olave for Jamar Chase and Genty. I'm surprised you got this. I'm surprised you got Genty as well. Not only did you upgrade Achane to Jamar Chase, which I love Achane, but you also upgraded Olave to Genty. Kind of a phenomenal move, my boy. I like that. You did really, really well. London for Waddle and Gadsden. If you need a tight end really badly, I don't mind this trade. I think it's actually pretty crafty. Waddle can play very well. Hey, bro, just made the trade you told me to make. I have Gadsden and ETN for Buka. He took it. Let's go. Definitely love the Buka side if you need a wide receiver. And I understand having the Gadsden and ETN side if you don't have Tootin and you wanted to make that move as well. Love ETN, so I don't, for anybody thinking that this other side crushed, both of them did well. If you needed a running back, then this guy got ETN and Gadsden. He did well, but you had, I believe, McBride or another tight end. So he couldn't necessarily use both tight ends. So he went and got Buka. So nice job on that, Alex. You did a good job. But both of you did well. That's part of those trades sometimes. Got it done, says Jonathan. Nice job, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Rico to the moon, pal. Rico to the mother flipping moon. XDS, appreciate you. 3 and 5 non-PPR. Love, Kyler, Genty, Hall, Vidal, RJ, Puka, Rice, Garrett Wilson, BTJ, MHA, Bowers, Gadsden. He offered London for Breece straight up. Look, I'd rather have Breece right now, but honestly, a week from now, I might want London more. It's kind of the wind shifting, the injury right now, the hip pointer. We don't know what's going on with it. I don't know. I guess with your running back situation, having Genty, Hall, and you having Puka, Rice, Garrett Wilson beat, you got wide receivers for days. I'd rather have Breece in your situation. But chat, would you rather have Breece or London? I think in your situation you need Breece, but is an overwhelming amount of people wanting London or something to make it, you make another trade and you do it? I would rather have Breece with your situation. Your wide receiver room is great. I'd trade like the MHJs and those players, those players below your top 2 or 3 receivers. Try and move them somehow in a 2-for-1. 6 and 2, Dart, Herbert, Henry, Warren. Any moves? I also have an offer. My Kincaid and Pittman and Henry, Herbert for Lamar. It's a big trade. My Kincaid, Pittman, Henry, Herbert for Lamar, Tyler, Warren, Kamara, Worthy. Woo! Give me the Lamar side by a lot. Yeah. And honestly, if you do that trade, you're pretty good. I wouldn't necessarily stop there, but maybe you're moving Kamara and Aaron Jones, Kamara and Jalen Warren, Kamara and T. Higgins for like one bigger player. Cam, try that. That's a good squad, bro. You did a really good job for yourself there. That trade's amazing. Lamar's going to score a boatload of points for you. Am I at surplus mode? 6 and 2, Josh, Bijan. So Josh Allen, Bijan, Woody, Sharps, Tootin, Amon-Ra, Buka, Lad, Hunter, Booty, Pitts. Trade my Buka and Woody and Pitts for Barkley and Andrews. No, bro. Like, let me put it this way. As much as I love Barkley, he's been a great buy low, and he's proven to be amazing, right? Amazing trade. Very, very high on him for weeks now to buy low. And it worked out, would have worked out well. But at this point, Buka is still ahead of him. Are you going to let 1 week of Buka when Evans has been, he's out for the year? We're going to take 1 week? No, I'm not, bro. The bye week's going to heal things up. At the end of the day, you're 6 and 2. You can wait on the bye week. I mean, Barkley's on bye anyway. So he's got the groin issue. He's still probably going to be okay. And I like Barkley. I still trade for Barkley. I trade for Barkley on the bye and the injury concern because he's still kind of probably priced lower than he should be. But, bro, why are you trading Woody and Buka? It's not even close. This is a horrible trade. You're not in surplus mode. I would say you're in good balance mode. And I honestly don't think I move anything unless later on you can trade Woody and let's say Woody and Hunter for like one monster, or Woody and Ladd for like one monster. But I think you let Ladd, Hunter, and Woody all go do work, Charbonnet as well. And I think you've got trade potential walking out of this coming week. I think you are in stand down mode if it were me. My Worthy and Bam for Debo, rather have Worthy. I like Debo. Debo saw an uptick with this McLaurin re-injury, but certainly not trading Worthy. I think Worthy's still very, very good. Okay, so I don't know. It's kind of close, actually. Guys, would you rather have Worthy or Debo? I mean, McLaurin out it's good news for Debo, but Debo's still a tiny bit of a concern. The heel, the Commanders have been playing like trash. Worthy's on an awesome offense that he still gets utilized. I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I still lean Worthy slightly, but I think maybe Debo's gonna go on the rise. They're both on the rise. I mean, Debo is on the rise. I want to make that abundantly clear. I'm not down on Debo. I just think I like Worthy a little bit more. Okay, Smitty, need a running back 2 and a flex this week. My running back 1 is Genty. Your wide receiver 2 is Rice. Ladd. Okay, your running back 2 and flex between. So running back 2 and a flex. We're gonna go with Travis Hunter as the flex, and we'll go Woody as the running back. I think we lean toward Harvey if some positive news breaks on it, but for right now, it's Woody and it's Travis Hunter. Not much of a debate for me. My Judkins is on a bye. I'm leaning Hunt, running back 2, and Hunter. I'm okay with that, but bro, I like Woody personally. But I don't mind going Kareem Hunt. Hunt's been vulturing. Chat, vote Woody or Hunter or Woody for Husseini. Husseini, great job this week. Thank you for the $20 holler, you monster.
Super chat alert.
We call him Arrowhead Husseini. He just lives at Arrowhead Stadium. Rico, start 2. Rico, AK, Woody, Aaron Jones. Probably going to go with Rico and Judkins and Bucky are out. Let's go Rico and Woody. Final answer. To me, that's easy because I love those guys. Traded my MHJ and Kincaid for Hunter and Gadsden. Huge W, Blake. Monster W. Harvey for Rico. I love Harvey, but I'm taking Rico. Rico is one of the best buy lows in fantasy, period. But I love Harvey. I love them both. Same people who were looking to trade Rice before he played one game are looking to trade Buka. It's weird, bro. I don't understand. Rookies explode, off the bye week. And not to mention, they explode after they get through essentially what's the rookie wall, and I kind of feel like this is going to take away that rookie wall. It's a beautifully placed bye week. I trade Worthy and Dowdle for Adams and Montgomery. I'd rather have Dowdle and Worthy, to be honest with you. That's how much value Dowdle has to me. Thank you for the super chat. Vlad says, need to know if you would drop Bill for Tootin. Yes. Other running backs. I feel like you ask me about Tootin every show, and I don't think you believe me. I think you consistently doubt my own Tootin belief. My other running backs are Judkins, Rico, Vida. I don't mind you keep asking though. By the way, I'm just saying, like, it just I love Tootin, bro. Tootin over Bill. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying to cut Tootin or cut Bill, but I'm also, when I'm asked the question, who would I rather have? It's Tootin. Tootin's got top 8 running back ability if he ever gets to start. 12-man second place, 6-2, Mahomes, Purdy, Bijan, Kyron, nice running backs. London, Wilson, BTJ, Worthy. Bowers, Otten, Ingram need an upgrade. I'd probably say with this squad, man, it's going to be tough. BTJ or Worthy. With Pacheco injured, hard to trade him now. Sharps, maybe the Walker owner wants him. Maybe somebody wants him because he's standalone good. I mean, Sharps is standalone good. So I don't know if I trade Kyron off the bye or Bijan or Mahomes. So you don't have a lot of movability. This might be hard to pull off, but it's Sharps and BTJ, or Sharps and Worthy, or BTJ and Worthy for one player. BTJ and Worthy for, I mean, you could go after Nico coming off the concussion. You could go after St. Brown. You could go after JJ using both wide receivers. You could essentially toss all three in. You could go to the Walker owner, see what Sharps and BTJ, or Sharps and Worthy, or Sharps, BTJ, and Worthy can get you. Maybe they have a JJ. Maybe they have a player that you can get. Maybe you can move BTJ for Garrett Wilson. Maybe you can move Worthy and BTJ for Garrett Wilson and a player. Maybe you can move one of them for a Dunze. Maybe you could move both of them for a Dunze and a player. So you're just going to have to go exploring down that very limited avenue. But I do believe there's an opportunity there for you. It's just going to be hard to pull off. But those are the only two players I want to trade. For this upcoming week, pick 2 to flex. And thank you for that super chat, pal. Nick, pick 2, Pittman, Tyler Warren, Chase Brown. I'm going Chase Brown and Tyler Warren. Not close. Thank you, my boy. Appreciate you. Jay, $10 hauler. I traded Benson and Nix for ETN and Tootin. Okay. I like that. And then traded ETN and Waddle, so you kept Tootin for Bucky. ETN and Waddle for Bucky. I honestly like ETN and Waddle, and I like Bucky. I think it's a very close call. Had you given him Tootin, I would have not liked it as much, but I kind of feel like this could be good for you. And you know, as long as you got the record to show for it, you can hold off on Bucky, even if you missed one more game, which is certainly possible. But I mean, your team looks really good, bro. I'm very much liking it, especially you keeping Tootin. That was a huge move. Huge move. I do believe it could go either way. I believe both of you either one could outscore the other with that trade, though. It's close. Decimated by injuries. How can I trade for Genty? Hunt is a possible trade piece because he keeps scoring. Sharps maybe. I'd trade. Damn, your wide receivers are. Trading AJB would be hard without getting a wide receiver back. But maybe you have to Debo for Genty, AJB for Genty and something. Maybe Genty and you get Genty and a player, and you give AJB and Sharps, or AJB and damn, man, Hunt and AJB for Genty and a receiver. I guess you try that, TJ. That might be the best avenue. Rock out with a $5 hauler. Trade off from my H-hand for Adams, Hunter, and Tracy. Woo! I'm gonna say no, Rock out. It's not a bad offer. I mean, Adams is fantastic. Travis Hunter should be fantastic, but none of those are guarantees. H-hand's like a guarantee unless he gets hurt, which we can't predict. I'm not making that trade. I'm not doing it. Chad, are you in agreement? H-hand over Adams, Hunter, Tracy, right? Let's say no to Rock out on that one. I don't want him doing that trade. I don't like it, bro. Julian, appreciate your super chat. Brashard Smith and QJ to the Pacheco owner for Shaheed and Dobbs. I guess. I don't know. I mean, that trade makes both of you worse, bro. No great players are in that mix there. I mean, Shaheed and Dobbs are okay. Pacheco's injured. QJ, I don't. Or I'm sorry, Smith is not guaranteed anything. I don't know. I probably and then also Tracy to the Scat owner for Olave. I don't mind that. I like the Olave move. 1-7, Bucky, Woody, Swift, Tootin, K9. So I'm probably trying to trade K9 and Sharps, trying to get that Adams type player, that Nico type player, that JJ type player. Maybe K9 and Sharps with a wide receiver. You know, maybe you throw Olave into that and try and do a 2-for-2, getting JJ in something, getting Nico in something. But yeah, good second trade. I don't know about the first one's okay. First one's all right. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. Parker with a $20 hauler. Parker, my man. Mata with a $20 hauler. Thank you, Mata. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. And then Perkins, appreciate you. Oh, whoops. Perkez, appreciate you with the super chat. So I got 3 $20 haulers from you, gentlemen. Let's go straight over here. Let me put Perkez over there. Let me put Monas right here. And let me put Parker's up above. So Parker says, would you trade Derrick Henry? Oh, and $20 super chat celebration.
Super chat alert.
Appreciate you guys dropping the super. Would you trade Derrick Henry for Bowers and Kenneth Walker? God, Kenneth Walker is somebody I just don't like acquiring. I want to get rid of him because I don't trust the workload. I like the player. I'm going to say no. I don't. I mean, I like Derrick Henry a lot right now moving forward. He's got the bye week out of the way. Bowers does too, and I like Bowers a lot. But I don't know. Kenneth Walker is so hard to trust. Chat, what are you doing here? Are you going with Bowers or Kenneth Walker, or Bowers and Kenneth Walker, or Derrick Henry? Can we get a vote on that, please? Vote on it, please. Let's get this guy some support here. What's want to start Sutton in the flex, have Tet and Debo? I mean, that's going to be a crapshoot each week. This is probably not the week to start Sutton, though. His matchup is awful. So you're probably going to want to go Tet or Debo this week. Hendy season is almost here. Henry vote. Yeah. So the chat agrees with me, bro. You're not getting. I like Walker, but he's not a secure player at all. He tends to be a player everybody's trying to get rid of, bro. As soon as you get him, you're just gonna want to get rid of him. Plus, unless you have Sharps, which you may have had, but I'd just rather start Sharps than Kenneth Walker right now. $20 hauler from Matta, 3-5, 12-team redraft, non-PPR. Mahomes, Gibbs, Woody, love it. Harvey in the wings. Jamar Chase, Rice, Debo, love it. Hunter in the wings or in a flex. Bowers, Gadsden, his offers, his pickings for my Bowers and Wandell. No, because, I mean, bro, if I'm making a trade, I'm trying to, even though I love Woody, I'm trying to upgrade Woody. You got Jamar Chase, Rice, and Debo. If you upgrade Debo to JJ or Nico or St. Brown or Nakua or the JSN or you got Rice already, but then sure. But you're going and getting Pickens, who I like a lot, but you've got Debo sitting there. I don't know, bro. I think getting rid of Gadsden at this level, I'd rather. Chat, do you agree? Let's get a different wide receiver. I think Gadsden should get you this. And if he can't, I don't know, maybe you wait one more week, but I like Pickens a lot. I just don't know that I'm using Gadsden right now. This is a bargaining chip you have to go get a receiver that might be better than Debo, but maybe Debo is going to bounce back with McLaurin being out. I think it's not enough. I think I want a different receiver. Chat, do you agree or disagree? Do you like Pickens enough to make that move? 10-man full PPR, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex, starting lineup. Baker, Javonte, Williams, Kyron, Vidal, Tootin, Judkins. Love it. Judkins and Kyron's fantastic. You could trade Javonte or Vidal for a receiver if we need to. Let's see if we need to. St. Brown, Buka, BTJ. No, you're fine. You're fine. Should I trade my BTJ and Javonte for Olave and Josh Allen? Baker's pretty good, bro. Don't let this week and a half of play get you all bent out of shape. However, Javante's so strong. I don't think I'm trading Javonte when you have Baker for Josh Allen. Josh Allen hasn't even been playing top 5, by the way. I think you should trade BTJ and let's call it Vidal for Josh Allen. That I would do. I don't think I trade Javonte Williams. I think the chat is probably going to agree with me on that. But chat, you can vote if you disagree. BBQ with a $20 hauler. BBQ, appreciate you, kind sir, for dropping the 20 wad.
Alert. Super chat alert.
BBQ says, if you don't think the NFL is capable of putting its finger on the scale, look no further than 32 teams passing on a starting QB in the draft till round 5. Do you see Shedeur playing this year? If so, what effect? I think he plays nearly immediately. Yes. I mean, they got a bye week, but I think we are either told he's starting coming out of the bye week, but I have it on good authority he's playing at least 4 games this year. And that's just the way it's going to be, I think, and we'll see how he does. I think as long as this team believes that they believe that they're controlling the narrative, then they might be like the ones saying, well, we got Shedeur, we're the ones that took him, so good on us, and they could turn this thing into a positive. But Shedeur, if he fails, let's say Judkins ends up, hopefully he has his full arsenal of weaponry so that Shedeur isn't out there with bare bones trying to prove himself. That's why I feel like Fields has always failed, is he's always given not enough, and then they judge him for it. So I don't know, but I do believe they will play him for sure. With Pacheco obviously going to be ruled out, where do you rank Brashard Smith? Not super high yet until we get a determination as to he's going to get like a solid workload. I think he probably will, but I think we're just waiting for that news. I think for now he's a very desperate, like second flex play when you have running back, 3 wide receivers, and like the 2 flexes, or running back, 2 wide receivers and 2 flexes. I could see people using him in the second flex, but it's very risky until we get word that he's getting X number of work, or yes, this week we're getting him more. Then I think we swing back in and re-vote on that. Trade Dunze and Chase Brown for JJ. I'd probably rather have a Dunze and Chase Brown. I like JJ, but I think you're shooting for like a JSN or a Puka or a Jamar Chase, or you're just holding. Because look, Dunze is really good, and Chase Brown's playing really well, and JJ's got McCarthy coming back, and we don't know what that looks like. So I think you're giving up way too much secure, guaranteed volume for a player that we love more than any player in the league practically in JJ, but he doesn't have the situation to support the value we want. BBQ and New Age Outlaw double fisting the 20 gifted memberships at the same time.
You've just been Smitty approved.
New Age Outlaw and Ron Navy dropping his 40-month membership question, Ron Navy. But at the same time, New Age and BBQ both double fisted 20 gifted memberships. And Ron says the months keep going by. It feels like yesterday I came across your show. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you dropping that message. And everybody, if you get a gifted membership from BBQ or New Age Outlaw, please thank them for dropping that. BBQ dropping 20, New Age Outlaw dropping 20. And if either one of you dropped any other ones before that, I apologize if I didn't see it. Trade my Kelsey, BTJ, and Hampton for Ferguson and Hunter. Give me Ferguson and Hunter, but really close. BTJ being hurt, it just makes it hard to wait on him, and Travis Hunter should be. There's a real good chance Travis Hunter explodes, and while he might not, it's worth the gamble. Own Kelsey, Gadsden, Fannin, Wandell, and Kelsey for Flowers. With Lamar coming back, I'm kind of okay with this, but I feel like you should be able to do Kelsey straight up for Flowers, and even that's like an overpay. But I do think Flowers is a really good wide receiver 3-4 to go get. Start one, Bam or RJ or Sharps. I think Sharps is safe. RJ's high risk, high reward. Bam, he's okay. I don't know. Let's see if I change my mind as the week moves along. Kind of keep tabs with me on my values on those guys. But I lean towards Sharps being the safest. RJ Harvey, higher upside, but more risk for sure. Simi Valley got offered McBride for my Debo and Kelsey. I'd rather have McBride. I definitely take the McBride side. This one here is from Kurt. Kurt says guillotine number 1 waiver spot pickup Bijan or Gibbs. Probably Bijan, bro, but they're both neck and neck. And honestly, I would not blame anyone for wanting Gibbs over Bijan because of the Falcons' offense being a little inconsistent in how good Detroit is. I think, it's funny because Bijan was the number 1 overall player 2 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden it's Gibbs. It's going to go back and forth, but Bijan for me, but very, very close. Love both of them tremendously. They're number 1 and they're 1A and 1A for me overall. Out of all players, over Chase, over everybody, they're 1A and 1A. JSN's up in the top 4. Thoughts about countering and asking for Jacobs and Igbuka and Fannin plus Fab, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Flowers because of Rashee Rice plus. I don't know. This is really confusing. I don't think let's see here. Thoughts about countering, asking for Jacobs, Igbuka, Fannin plus Fab, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Flowers. I don't know where this ends and where it begins. There's no for or change or break. I don't know. Plus Fab. I kind of wonder if the break in the trade is after the Fab. So if it is, this is the only thing I could do H13 because it's not clear. Jacobs, Buka, Fannin, and Fab. Jacobs, Buka, Fannin. I think what you're saying is for Garrett Wilson, Kyron Flowers. So I would rather have Buka and Jacobs over Kyron and Garrett Wilson and Flowers because Rushy Rice plus Igbuka would feed families. Yeah, I would rather have Buka and Jacobs over Garrett Wilson, Kyron. The other stuff's peripheral. I would definitely like Fannin over Fab, I think. And Fannin over Fab and Flowers. So give me Jacobs and Igbuka. Yeah, but it's arguable. It could definitely be an arguable situation for sure. Thank you for the super chat. This one here from L3. Thank you. I'm 2-6. Need a win. I have Allen, Bijan, K9, Dowdle, Chuba, Rice, Diggs, Worthy. Wow. Bowers, Gadsden, Worthy. I was offered Chase Brown and Bill and Amon-Ra for Bijan, Diggs, K9, or Dowdle. Don't give up Dowdle. Bijan, Diggs, K9 for Chase, Brown, Bill, and Amon-Ra. I'm going to say, so we look at Amon-Ra versus Bijan. Bijan has a clear advantage. And then Chase Brown versus Diggs and K9. Bill, I'm not even worried about. So Chase Brown versus K9 and Diggs. I almost feel like I love Chase Brown, bro, but I don't think I'm willing to bank on him being 100% back to normal over K9 and Diggs when it cost me Bijan down to St. Brown. I'm going to say not the right trade for me. Not the right trade for me. I'd rather trade K9 and Diggs or K9 and Worthy for one player right now. Or trade one of your tight ends, bro. You got two tight ends right now. You've got, right? Did I read that right? Bowers and Gadsden. You got to make one of those moves. That's your ticket out. Doing this trade feels like you're not maximizing the right angle here. Mahalo got a trade Gadsden for Rico accepted. Just waiting for the approval by the league. Still have Tyler Warren and Fannin. I like that. I love Rico Gadsden. It's a very even trade for both of you. Hopefully they don't have any sort of bias in terms of accepting that for one side or the other. Very, very even and good for you. May, Dart, Igbuka, T-Mac, JJ, Diggs, running back Achan, JCM, Harvey, Hendy, Spears, 2-6. PPR trade Tet for Rico, yes. Or Tet and for Jamo Bowers, yes. Which one would I rather have? Man, I'd probably rather have Jamo and Bowers a little bit more than the Rico side, but geez, that's a good trade. I wish you could get Rico as well somehow. Maybe you could throw in Spears and JCM, or maybe you could throw in Diggs. I would throw in Diggs to get Rico, Diggs and JCM, Diggs and Spears if you can, but I'd take either one of those to be honest, but I'd probably take that Bowers one. Just traded Genty for J.K. Dobbins, Kittley, and Addison. I also have Harvey on my bench. Your thoughts? Just traded Genty for J.K. Dobbins and Kittle. I wouldn't have traded Genty, bro. J.K. Dobbins, I don't necessarily need J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is getting 100 yards. I wish you would have asked me this ahead of time, Mohammed, but it's not like you lost. If Kittle is a monster, which he could be, I just think they're going to ask him to block a lot this year. I think he has those years where is he going to thrive or was he going to block like crazy? I think he probably blocks like crazy, but we'll see. I just wouldn't have. JK doesn't do anything for me. JK gets 100 yards, but that's 10 points unless you're in some sort of bonus league, which you could be in. And then that, I don't think he's going to. I think Harvey eventually does take over, but I don't know. I wouldn't have made that move, but I don't think it was a horrible move. It just wasn't a move I would make. But appreciate your super chat, and please bring it to me next time before you do it. Smitty, in another league, the JD5 owner offered me JD5 for Bo Nix. I already have Stafford. I would probably say, I would take the gamble on JD5 unless I had tons of JD5 shares. Then I probably would hold Bo Nix. But I think I would hedge my bets if I have a lot of JD5 shares. Now, if I don't have any JD5 shares or Nix shares and you just got to make the right call, I still think JD5 is going to blow up. But Nix has been playing solid football. He's top 5. But I probably would personally lean JD5. You got Stafford there if anything goes awry. But that's me. I love Bo Nix and JD5. I predicted Bo Nix to be a top 5 to 7 QB, so he's doing exactly what I said. But I do think I do believe still in JD5. Full PPR traded Aaron Jones and Kincaid for Bucky. Love that. and your team looks phenomenal. Acham, Bucky, Sharps, Hendy, Harvey, Monungai, Tootin, great running back stable. London, Adunze, Diggs, Hunter, great wide receiver room. And then Fannin and Warren. Maybe wait a week, but then if Fannin blows up, or I'm sorry, if Warren blows up, you could look to trade him. But I think maybe you look to trade Fannin coming off the bye week with maybe some sort of uptick in Sharps or Hendy or Harvey or Monungai, and they gain you some value somewhere. But that's a stand down team. Love the squad. Looks really, really good and promising. Would you trade Derrick Henry for Bowers and Kenneth Walker? We had a similar question to this, and I think the answer was, I don't know. This one's a little different, though, I think. Bowers for Derrick Henry and Brock. What do you guys think? Brock Bowers and Walker or Derrick Henry? If you think you could trade and flip Walker, like let's say with something else, a wide receiver like Tet or Sutton or Debo, and turn Walker and Tet into a above Adams or above type player, Nico coming off the concussion, I will probably do this trade and have Bowers in that player. If you don't think you can pull that off, I mean, Henry's tough to trade. He's got the bye week out of the way. Bowers does too, but I don't know, man. I think I probably try and move Walker. I probably take Bowers, try and move Walker with Tet or Sutton or Debo. I kind of feel like those three wide receivers are pretty good to make that package work. So I think I do take Bowers. I think that Chad agrees too. 2 and 6 with Drake May, Daniel Jones, Gibbs, Kyron, Stevenson, RJ, JJ, Sutton, Debo, Travis Hunter. Any moves to make? Like the team a lot. Love the running back stable. It's fantastic. The wide receivers are super underrated. Love the tight end room, actually. I'm going to say stand down on this unless you can move, let's say, Debo and Sutton or Hunter and Debo or Hunter and Sutton. A weird trade. It's going to be hard to do. Weird trade. Maybe even Kittle and Debo, Kittle and Hunter, Kittle and Sutton. Try and keep Hunter and JJ, though. But Kittle and one of those players for a Brock Bowers upgrade. Let's go get Brock Bowers. Or maybe we're getting maybe we do, maybe two of the wide receivers together for just one slight wide receiver upgrade, like a Nico, Sutton and Debo for. You could go after London. It's a risk, but kind of an intriguing risk, to be honest. Trade my Lamar for Dowdle and Kyler Murray. I'd probably rather have Lamar, but I love Dowdle. You know I love trading for Dowdle, but that should tell you how much I love trading for Lamar right now. Flex between Chase Brown, Dowdle, BTJ, Hunter, and QJ. You're probably going to go Chase Brown for right now. Chase Brown, then Dowdle, then Hunter in that order. Maybe you make a trade because that's a surplus of talent. Should help you in the bye week situations, but trade ETN in London for Barkley. I'd rather have Barkley right now. I just would. I think he's a fantastic player right now. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I got to try and find. I might have deleted the super chat on accident. Let's see here. Is this the one that I might have? Whoops. Hopefully I didn't. TM says trade ETN in London for Barkley. So yeah, I would take Barkley. Close call. You could argue it though. You really could. PPR rank JCM, Marks, and Hendy. Also start Tracy or Dowdle. I'm starting Dowdle. It's not close for me. And then ranking these guys is going to go Marks and Hendy. Pending an upgrade in value though, my boy. Like we start getting great news about Hendy, that could change. You might need to come back in. L3, I didn't miss your super chat, but I do appreciate you following up. It's just a long delay, bro. There's a lot of super chats that come in. Took your advice, traded Adunze and Aaron Jones for JJ. I like that trade. Got him, JSN, and Rashee Rice, bro. Lad, Gadsden Fannin, how do you do? You did amazing, bro. Project.
You've just been Smitty.
That's fantastic, my boy. You did absolutely outstanding. Let's see. Project, thank you for the super chat. Let me see if I have any others that I think I missed. I still got more to go, but I just want to make sure I didn't gloss over somebody's. Trade my Lamar, Dowdle, Kyler Murray, flex between Chase Brown, Dowdle, BTJ, Hunter, QJ, and I said go Chase Brown, then Dowdle, then Hunter in that order. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the ones I think that had been waiting forever. JCM Marks. All right, let me go back to the top here, and this one from Pickens and Harvey for ETN and Garrett Wilson. Give me ETN and Garrett Wilson, but this one could change. The wind could shift on that one for sure. Zach, appreciate your super chat, my man. 3 and 5, 7th place, but lead the league in points scored. Nice. Hurts, Genty, Judkins, Sharps, Puka, London, Garrett Wilson, Hunter, Ferguson, Fannin. Still sit tight or make a trade. I'd probably try and move maybe a Sharps or JCM if you can. Probably going to be hard for London to get a safer receiver than London if you could go up and get Nico or St. Brown or JJ or something like that. If not on that type of move, I guess I would maybe do the same thing with Garrett Wilson. I'd do the same thing with Travis Hunter and just try and move. It's going to be hard, but that's really the only move I would make with this team. Everything else I kind of stand down. Would I maybe move Genty and Garrett Wilson, Genty and Hunter for like a stud? Sure, maybe. Maybe Genty and Ferguson for like a slight running back upgrade. Maybe. If you can pull that off, Zach, that would be pretty smooth. Just a little bit of a safer player than Genty, but we're talking Henry, Barkley, Kyron, Achan, just by giving up that tight end who's played well all year, but maybe everyone's scared of him now. It's hard to say. You should have probably sold him high while you could. Trade Breece and T for Lamar. Is that too much? No, it's a lot, but look, Lamar's a beast, bro. And you've got Genty, you've got Gibbs, you got JSN, you got Rice, you got Kraft, you got Buka. I mean, you're in a surplus of talent. Now, with Kraft and Gadsden, I would try and move one of those guys to upgrade something like Genty into a little bit safer H-hand type player, or maybe move that's probably the only move you got to make. Bro, that's a good team, and that's not too much to give up when you're in a surplus like you are. In a vacuum, someone might say that's too much, but not in a situation like you have. 10-team PPR, 5 wins, Dak, Debo, Hunter, Gibbs, Kyron, Gadsden, BTJ, Buka, Fannin, D. Smith, Nix, Tootin. Any moves? Want to get rid of BTJ? Well, then let's try and move BTJ and you got Fannin and Gadsden. You could get crafty. I love Gadsden, but there's never a better time than selling a player at his ultimate peak. So if you were to trade BTJ and Gadsden, you probably could get Nico. You probably could get JJ. You probably could get a player at that level, I would imagine. And you'd have Gibbs and Kyron, so you don't necessarily need a wide receiver. You could go after Lamar. You could go BTJ for Lamar straight up. Dak and BTJ for Lamar and something. BTJ and Gadsden for Lamar and something. You could even throw Dak in and still get that something to be upgraded a little bit. Those are all moves I would make with that team. Like your squad, though. Looks really good. Don't make any crazy moves. Smitty, 12-man PPR, 6-2. Dak, H-Chan, JT, you're balling, bro. Believe in Dak with this team. Skattebo, I'm sorry to hear that, but your players are stepping up in the perfect time. Garrett Wilson, Rice, Travis Hunter, Waddle, love it, except for you're putting Rice as your second wide receiver. I know you probably don't feel that, but let's put some respect on it, DJ. Let's keep the house in order. Let's not show our house to sell it like a realtor and not mow the lawn first. Okay, so put Rice where he belongs. Love the squad. Think you could maybe make a move like go after Lamar using Dak. I don't give up on Dak, but if you could get like Waddle or Travis Hunter to turn, or Garrett Wilson even, to turn Dak into Lamar, I truly believe it is a crazy high-scoring maneuver, and try and get something with them. But that's the only thing I'm focused on with that team. That's a great team, my boy. Traded Adams for Gadsden and Cup. Look, I'm fine with that, but I do think I'd rather in a vacuum want Adams over Gadsden, but I definitely think if you needed a tight end and you're a surplus at wide receiver, it could make sense. Don't think Cup is worth anything, that much. But 8th got Ertz and Otten. Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I don't hate the trade. I don't love either side more than the other. I mean, I love Gadsden and Adams probably near the same. It's a huge positional advantage to have Gadsden, but I do think Adams is a top 12 wide receiver potentially. Keeper League, Super Flex, 1 PPR trade, my taxi Stroud for unkeepable Brock Bowers due to league. Yeah, I'm fine with that. You're not using Stroud. You're going to win championships, bro. It's an easy call. It's easy. Essentially asking which is better, Send my Rashi Rice, Kyron, and Flowers to get Bijan, Buka, and Johnston. So Rashi Rice, Kyron, Flowers for Bijan and Buka. Take Bijan, Buka. Or send Garrett Wilson, Kyron, Flowers, and get Jacobs, Buka, Fannin. I think I like the Bijan, Buka side. That's probably the one I like the most. Thank you, H13. Yeah, appreciate you clarifying that. But Bijan, Buka is fantastic, bro. You're getting 2 top 5 players at their position. 12 team 4-4, Jaden, K9, Kyron, Tootin. Chad, do you agree on that? You like the Bijan and Buka side? 12 team 4-4, Jaden, Daniels, K9, Kyron, Tootin, Benson, Jamar, London, Ladd, Tet, Hunter. Trade Ladd and K9 for Henry. Yes, exactly where I was going to go. Any other trade ideas? Once you make that trade, then you got Kyron and Henry, and you got JD5, you got Lamar. I think maybe I'd explore like a Tootin, or I'm sorry, a Tet. I'd explore a Tet or a Travis Hunter with London to get a bigger, stronger player. Like, would I trade Tet in London for JJ? Nico, St. Brown? Yeah. Try and do that. It's a good team though, bro. Real good team. Love the squad. Path, appreciate your $5 hauler, my boy. Path to the moon, dropping the wad. May, Williams, Gibbs, Warren, Vidal. Vidal is your number 2, by the way. So I'm trading Warren if I can. McBride, Schultz. Man, I don't know. This team is good, but it is lacking a little bit. You know, could May, Gibbs, Adams, and McBride win? It's balanced. Vidal, maybe. And I don't know that you have anybody like QJ you should have traded while you could. QJ and Warren would have gotten you something like an Adams to set next to your Devontae Adams. It would have gotten you a pretty solid piece. I guess if I'm trading, I put Vidal in my running back spot. I probably trade Warren, and I trust that. And I just roll the dice on that. And I probably try and trade Jalen Warren. Can you trade Jalen Warren and Godwin, Jalen Warren and Dobbs, Jalen Warren and Myers for just a slight wide receiver, like a Dunze or Garrett Wilson injured, or maybe Debo Samuel? I don't know. Worthy, potentially Lab McConkey. Pickens would be great if you could get Pickens. I'd try that slight maneuver. Everything else is kind of just, I don't think you're moving much right now. Smitty, what's your take on Bam this week against Dallas? I think he's a pretty decent play, but it just depends. You think Carter will suit up for the game? I don't know. We'll find out more. But for those that thought Carter was like a nothing burger, they cut him. It's a bookkeeping move at this point in the season, where a team will, instead of bringing him on long term, they bring him on week to week. They basically move you down to the practice squad, then they rise you up right before game time, then they cut you, they put you on the practice squad, they rise you up before game time, because they're doing this until Benson's back, and then when Benson's ready, then they're not going to do it anymore, versus keep him on the books for the year. So, but Carter does seem like he's not in starter positioning. Bam looks like he's probably pretty streamable against the Dallas Cowboy defense. Yes. So I like him this week, unless you got a much better option. Like Hendy could turn out to be a much better option. We'll find out, but we'll know more later in the week. Drop hits and went full load drop for Hendo. Excellent job. Laughable that people are dropping Hendo. Just absolutely ridiculous. Traded Bucky and Debo for Judkins and Woody. I would probably rather have, wow, that's close. That's pretty even. I like Judkins and Bucky about the same. If Bucky were back healthy and Judkins were back healthy, it'd be different, but they're both injured. I trust Judkins a little bit more. I trust Woody over Debo a little bit more, but the winds might be shifting for Debo now that McLaurin's banged up, and it's looking pretty bad for McLaurin. So it's pretty close. I think it's a pretty dead even trade, to be honest. Moved my JK and a third rounder for JCM in a second. Smitty approved? Not really. JCM is almost droppable at this point. I like the fact that he's got a lot of talent. In Dynasty, he's not droppable. So, Fernando, let me rephrase that. In redraft, we don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. I feel like they're just not going to use him. But in Dynasty, would I rather have JCM over JK? 100%. But do I think it's a great trade? Am I going to actually hit the button, Smitty approve? Probably not. It's just, they don't use him. It's not his fault, but they just don't use JCM properly. They probably won't. 12-man, 2 flex, 6 and 2 trades or holds. Drake May, JSM, Buka, London, Nico. Booty, Dowdle, Warren, Bill. Don't give up on JCM, though. My pessimism right now is about the coaching staff. So your trade was good. Just hold them and hope for the best. Drop Bam for Fannin on the bench. I would try to do something different, but looking at the squad, I don't think. Yeah, I probably don't leave Fannin on waivers unless you think no one's going to pick him up walking into. They're just not going to pay attention. Like if he got cut and no one's picking him up now, you wonder if anybody's going to pick him up later. But yeah, I think Bam's short-lived. If you're not going to use him this week, I would just cut him right at the end so that no one else can pick him up and benefit. You know what I mean? Make sure he's going to stay on waivers through the games. That's the only thing I would do. 3 and 5 have Bowers and Warren at tight end. Traded Warren, Breece for Genty, Nico. I'm fine with that given your situation. Solid trade, Rob. I mean, it's a solid move. I love both sides, though. I love both. I mean, look, I loved Warren and Breece. I love both of them, but Genty and Nico is pretty good. I think you did, given that you had Bowers, this is a solid move. I like the move. Nice work. 5 and 3, 12 team. May, Lamb, London, Ladd, Wilson, Henry, Judkins. Love the squad, bro. Fantastic team. McBride, Gadsden. Let's get rid of one of those guys. IDP, Hunter. Got an offer. Etienne and Hunt from my Gadsden. Given that you've got Henry and Judkins, I don't know, man. London, Lamb, May, Ladd, Garrett Wilson. I mean, if your flex is probably going to be one of those wide receivers, but it's not bad to get that running back situation locked down either, though. But I would say you've got Tootin. You might have the best of both worlds. I would almost say go get a different player than go get Dowdle or something, maybe. I like Etienne. Chad, if you were in this situation and you already had Tootin, Judkins, and Henry, and your wide receivers were Lamb, London, Ladd, Garrett Wilson, may not even be able to use Etienne in the flex even. Wouldn't you try and get like a different player for Gadsden? I think I would. I'd try and get maybe Dowdle, or I would try and use Gadsden and maybe Ladd to upgrade into a JJ type of player, or even London with Gadsden to go get St. Brown or JSN or Lamb or JJ type of move. You got Lamb already. I think that's what I would do, bro. Hopefully it all made sense. Appreciate you. Team, Mahomie, Herb, Jacobs, J. Will, Tracy, Stevenson, Rice, Adams, Garrett Wilson, Higgins, Warren, Bowers. Stand down or make moves. I mean, I'm trading one of Warren or Bowers with probably T. Higgins or Garrett Wilson to get a monster. I think T. Higgins and Warren or T. Higgins and Bowers will get you JJ and a player, or get you maybe JSN straight up, maybe Lamb straight up. I think you can get something like that done. I don't see any reason why you can't. Would I be able to trade Jacobs into a higher valued running back? Probably. Or Tracy in one of the tight ends for just a Kyron or something like that. Very doable in my opinion. A lot of avenues you could take too with that. 6 and 2 was offered Buka for Tet and Chase Brown. I think Tet and Chase Brown's pretty good. I'd rather have Buka, I think. Chase Brown, Rico. You got Rico, you got K9. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Buka. Thank you for the super chat. This one here from H13. 12 team PPR, 2 flex, 6 and 2. Saquon, Kyron, Monty, Tootin, Tank. Would you trade Monty and Rashad White for ETN and Fab? Yes, I would. I would definitely. That's the kind of maneuver to get ETN that I like. You're getting rid of Monty. You're getting rid of Rashad White. Who the hell cares? So I'd even give them the Fab or move them to help. Definitely like it. Do the trade. That's the trade. That's a good trade. That's an excellent formula there, my guy. I like it. That's how you get ETN. 3 and 5, 10 team, 2 flex. Stafford, Genty, Hall, RJ, Ingram, Jettas, Rice, Buka, London. I want to trade for Gadsden, May, Rico. What should you trade? Gadsden, May, Rico. Not trading Jettas, Rice, or Buka. London, DK, Hunter. Let's move DK or Hunter with Bam. Maybe Genty could be involved in a Rico trade. So let's say you moved Genty and DK for Rico and Gadsden. Genty, DK for Rico, Gadsden. I'm fine with that. If you did it for May instead of Gadsden, I could understand that as well, I suppose. I'd almost want to do a 3 for 3 at that point. I don't know if you could give up like an Ingram or something in that. Or you're getting Gadsden. So I don't know, something like that. That could work, Vincent. I like that. Jamar or Jettas and Jalen Warren. Jamar, it's not close. Look, Jettas is just not in the best situation. We love Jettas as a player. Harvey for MHJ. I want Harvey. Henry and BTJ for CD. I'd want CD. HN and Woody for Bijan. I want Bijan. That's not close. Mitchell, appreciate your super chat. Young man was offered Breece Hall for my Travis Hunter. I'd take Breece Hall, but it's pretty close. I mean, it could be close. Right now, Breece Hall, unless it's an IDP or something. Mahomes, Rice, Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Bucky, Dowdle. Yeah. I like the idea of getting Breece Hall. I love Travis Hunter, but trade Debo and Vidal for Adams. I would say probably no if you can use Vidal. But, I mean, it's close if you can't. Got offered my ETN and Genty for Jacobs. I'd rather have ETN and Genty over Jacobs. And then I just make different moves because you got a lot more talent to move at that point. Smitty, I'm 3 and 5. Trade Puka and Kamara for Henry and Nico. I would probably take Henry and Nico. Look, Kamara doesn't feel like much right now. And while Puka's top 4, top 5, I mean, Henry and Nico together might both be top 15, so I probably would take that side more. Puka's hard to trade, though, but Nico and Henry's a lot of talent, bro. I'd say at 3 and 5, you probably need to do something right. So I would probably make that move. I was in talks to send Monty, Kyron, McBride for Jacobs, Igbuka. I would take that's close. I'd probably take Jacobs and Igbuka if it solves your wide receiver problem. You would still have Saquon, Tank, Rashad White. I don't know though. That's tough. I guess I would take Jacobs and Igbuka. Yeah, that's a close one. There's pros and cons to that one. 2 and 5 QBs are JD5, Genty, JCM, Harvey, Hendy, Tootin. Wide receivers Rice and Buka, Hunter, London, Debo, Warren, Fannin. Any moves? Man, I'd probably say that, you try and move JCM if you can. JCM in London for a little bit safer Nico or St. Brown. JCM and Debo for maybe a Adams or higher. Maybe you're moving. I'm keeping Rice and Buka. It's really just trying to move London or Hunter or Debo using JCM if you can, or Tootin to the ETN owner, or getting ETN using JCM and Debo maybe. That could work. That could be a pretty good move. Or do the opposite and give them Tootin and upgrade Debo or something. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you. With Bowers healthy, can I drop Gadsden? No, bro. No, absolutely not.
Get lammed. Your Bijan card has been revoked.
I don't like it. No, he's okay. I don't like it. Chucky, tell him to wait a minute.
Woke up this season, gonna win myself a chip. Gonna take it all the way, got Smitty by my side. Got Bucky Irving, action gentile.
No, bro. You trade him. Gadsden can get you a freaking Adams straight up. Gadsden might get you a Dunze straight up. Gadsden might get you London straight up. Gadsden might get you Genty straight up. Goodness gracious. I feel like we just saved his life. 3 and 5. What is the move? Trade JMO for Aaron Jones. I'd rather have JMO over Aaron Jones, so I wouldn't have done that move. Traded JMO for Aaron Jones. If you traded for JMO, then I like it. Judkins, Bucky, Puka, Nico, Olave, Gadsden, Rico. I like it, bro. I don't think I'm moving much. I think I'm sitting on this. Maybe Olave. Maybe Olave and Kamara. Yeah. Olave Kamara for one player. Love Rico. Olave Kamara for one player. That's an easy move. Maybe Olave Kamara JD5 for Lamar. Maybe you trade all three. Lamar would be fantastic for the team, bro. Go after Lamar. Trade Sharbs and Walker for Tootin and ETN. I'd take... Man, that's so close. Benson Hendy. Or Benson Hendy. I don't like Benson. I mean, Benson Hendy could be better, but right now it's hard to do that. I'd probably say Tootin ETN, but really, really close, bro. Wins could definitely shift on that one. I mean, they might shift in favor of Hendy being the number one overall player in the whole board. Gadsden is taking over the Keenan Allen role, limiting QJ, the true zone target. As Travis said earlier, he's the wide receiver 2 flex on a tier 1 offense. Look, Gadsden's amazing. It's crazy that anybody would even drop him, man. I don't know what we're doing. 10-man PPR 4-4. Gibbs, Vidal, Sharbs, Rice, JSN. Riding out Vidal before trading Rashee Rice or JSN or running back, or should I do it now? Also, should I trade BTJ for name value right now? I would say let's not trade Rice or JSN at all. Let's not trade Gibbs at all. You can win with this team. Vidal's pretty damn good and probably will be good all year. Sharbs will step up if he needs to. Yeah, I guess BTJ. I mean, you could explore BTJ and Vidal for one player, see what you can get, like Barkley, Henry, something like that, Nico, etc. But I probably would say that I don't really do much right now. I probably hang tight, let Vidal go do work, let BTJ and Sutton for one player like Adams or a safer player. Try that. That would probably be the best potential move. Some idiot dropped Dowdle for Breece. No. Chief, you got to do something different. You got to make a trade. You got to open up a spot. You got to drop your kicker and buy yourself more time, but do it now. Yeah, get him, but hold. You don't cut Breece. You don't cut Dowdle. You can't cut either one. You just can't. But grab him. Traded QJ and ETN for Breece. I'm good at wide receiver. I like that. I'm fine with that. Thank you for the super chat. What's your take on DK recently playing? Yeah, I mean, I think he's a wide receiver 4 that during bye weeks and injuries can be a good wide receiver 3. I think that's how I view DK. DK's had 2 consistent games in a row. 2 and 6, Dak, Henry, ETN, Tootin, Woody, Pitts, and I just can't win. Smitty season probably over. Well, Oscar, make sure you play more than one league. 2 and 6, Henry. I like the team. I'd probably say you just ride it out, my boy, and see what's what. I mean, you got players ready to step up. I could tell you to move somebody, and this doesn't mean that your team isn't good. There's just not a lot to trade unless you trade JSN. So maybe shop JSN, but do not sell him unless you're getting a mother freaking Judkins and like a JJ. Or you trade JSN for JJ. Try starting there. JJ and an amazing player. Nico and you got Nico Ibuka and an amazing player, but please do not do it for a scrub. We're not talking about and I'm not saying Kenneth Walker's a scrub, but no Kenneth Walker, it's got to be a Judkins-esque player. And if not, I'd seriously let that team try. That team's pretty good. You just have been hit with some bad situations. Mazel Hog, appreciate you. Guy wants my JSN. Who should I get in return? So that advice applies. Drake, May, Vidal, JT, Bucky. So in this example, it would be Bucky. I mean, Bucky and Pickens wouldn't be enough for JSN. So you see what I'm saying on this situation too? I would say St. Brown. So JSN down to St. Brown and bro, I don't know, but Bucky and St. Brown for JSN and something really small, but that's what it's going to cost for JSN. JSN's a top 3 overall player, bro. I can't even piecemeal this. Like Pickens, Tet, and St. Brown, not enough. It's just not enough for JSN. And even Vidal. When I take JT straight up, JSN and JT are very arguable, but of course he's not going to do that. He's going to, if he wants to get your JSN and not give you St. Brown and Bucky, then he can't have him. This guy probably wants to give you none of his top 4 guys, and he still wants your JSN. Hey, Smitty, on 5 and 3, Hurts, Rico, Chase Brown. Rice, Buka, Bowers, Gadsden, BTJ, JCM, Isaiah Davis, Pearsall, Woody, Burchard, Benson. Any moves? Who would you drop with Hurts on a bye? If I'm dropping somebody, it's probably going to be Pearsall right now or Burchard Smith. Pick your poison. As for the team, I like it. It's a good squad. Hurts, Rico, Chase Brown, Rice, Buka, Bowers. I mean, it's fantastic. I would probably move Gadsden and BTJ or Bowers and BTJ for one stud. Try JJ, try Nico, try St. Brown. Gadsden and BTJ should be able to get you a top 7 wide receiver, and I'm definitely moving that and getting that. Or, do some sort of upgrade, running back upgrade, or Barkley or a player like that, Kyron Achan. I'm 3-5, 12-team PPR. Do I make trades or sit tight? Lineup is Murray, Achan, Sharps, Hunter, Addison, Lamb, Hunter again. Henry, benches Garrett Wilson, Agbuka, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Judkins, Trey Benson. First of all, you got so much talent that's sitting there on the bench ready to go when they come back from the buys. You're going to be fine. This team's really, really good. I mean, Judkins and Buka and A.J. Brown and Hurts and Lamb and Achan. There's nothing to do here. Just enjoy the ride. There's not even, I mean, maybe Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown together for a JJ or something, or a St. Brown or a JSN. Like Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown together could get you one monster. And then you got Lamb, Buka, and that monster. That's the only thing I'd focus on, my boy. Do that. Do that and do it live. That would be a fantastic move to get those 2 wide receivers into one wide receiver. That would be the move to make. What else we got? Are we hitting a BTJ for Dowdle trade? I would take Dowdle in a heartbeat, Kobe. I've only been saying it for about, 2 straight hours now. Hour and 51 minutes. It's what I've been saying over and over and over. Should we pick up Dowdle? Should we drop Dowdle? Like I'm still getting. He's been on screen for 2 hours. He's been on screen for. I haven't moved him for 2 hours. He's been on screen for 2 hours. Island Boy. I was offered Sharps or Marks for my Hunter. I like Marks. I like Sharps, but Hunter's on the rise, my boy. The answer is no. The answer is Rico Dowdle. All right. Let's see here. Take a couple quick phone calls.
Call into the show.
Dial into the BentonPrint.com phone line. The Benton Print phone line. For all your business needs, Benton Print is an amazing company. We love Benton Print. We love the attic. We gave away a hoodie. Oh, we got to give away the pair of glasses on the Patreon. 14-team Dynasty, 3-5. Dak, Nico, Pickens, Breece, Vidal, ETN, Ertz. Any moves trying to get Tootin with Ollie. He has Achan. Trying to get Tootin with Ollie. He has Achan. Trying to get Tootin with Ollie. If you're trying to get Tootin with Ollie, I suppose you could try and move. I mean, Watson's got a little value now. I don't know, man. What are you going to be able to trade? You'd have to trade like Sharps for Tootin and Ollie, maybe. But past that, like, what are you going to do? You know, you got to trade like Vidal or Pickens, and you got to get something. So I don't really know what they have. You're not just going to get Ollie and Tootin for nothing. Like Sharps is the only thing you have here to try. Watson and Sharps, maybe. Try that. If not, you got to tell me like what wide receiver they have that we can turn Pickens, or what running back we could turn Vidal into. But I mean, Vidal's going to be pretty good. ETN and Breece. If you traded Vidal for like a wide receiver, you know, I could do that, given that you have ETN now with Breece, and you've got that ETN situation secured. So I guess I'd be okay with that if you did trade. But you're going to probably have to trade Pickens, I imagine. Trade Marv for Dowdle. I'd rather have Dowdle by a country mile, bro. And then Andrews, Johnson, Likely, Barner, Fant. Probably Juwan Johnson, I suppose, but I don't love any of those options, I'll be honest. And then this one here from Tyler. Tyler, appreciate you. Traded away Sutton and Terry and Tyler Warren and Jacob. Traded away Sutton, Terry, Tyler Warren, Jacobs, Dobbins. Worth it. 5 for 5 trade. Current team: Allen, JSN, Rice, Pittman, Jamo, Gadsden, Chase Brown, Harvey, Aaron Jones, Brashard Smith. Traded away Sutton. I don't know what you made the trade for, though. You traded away Sutton, Terry, Warren, Jacobs, Dobbins, but you didn't tell me what you did. Current team: Allen, JSN. I like the team. JSN and Rice is crazy. Josh Allen, love it. Gadsden, love it. A little weak at RB, but crafty. Like if Harvey comes to play ball, I like it. I don't really know what the trade was, but I definitely think your team looks pretty solid. And then this one right here from Oscar: start one, Marks, Hunter, or Jamo. I think you got to go Hunter for right now. He's going to get wide receiver 1 treatment. We're real excited about that, as you should be. And I don't think you want him on your bench during this time when they potentially unleash the dragon. All right, 562 caller, you're live as quickly as you can. No full team breakdowns. Do it live. Go.
Hello, Ibuka or Derrick Henry rest of the season?
I'd say pretty even. I think that's how good Derrick Henry could be down the stretch. But I think, you know, if in a vacuum, I'd probably take Buka after this week's over. But when you consider the bye week, it could be pretty damn even.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, team need would also depend. You know, I think you probably value them pretty evenly. I would say if I had Buka and I was trading for Henry, I'd try to get more. I feel like the fair market value still should be pretty damn good for Buka. But if let's say I didn't need either position, I was pretty balanced, I'd take Buka over Henry.
Okay. Yeah, just last thing I want to say, I got Ibuka today for Chase Brown and fucking my bad for cursing, Rashad White.
Yeah, nice job.
All right, that's everything. Appreciate your show.
Better, bro. Thanks. Sneeze. Start one, Marks, Hunter, or Jamo. So Hunter, my boy. Trade Chase and Flacco for JSN and Kyler. Superflex. This is tough because I like Flacco more than Kyler right now, but I don't know that he stays healthy all year. He's 75 years old. I don't know, man. I probably lean toward Kyler, and I don't trust the Bengals are so hard to trust, man. You know, like once you go in, you just get screwed. I'm gonna say JSN and Kyler, but I don't know. This is really close. Chat, vote on this. I mean, Flacco is, yeah, he's just not gonna stay healthy. Yeah, he's already banged up. I mean, jeez, man. He's already injured. And the update on that, I'll give you the latest on the Flacco injury right now. He's 75 years old. How is he going to stay healthy all year? You know? Not practicing Wednesday. No true update. As far as like what that's going to mean, I don't know. Mute yourself real quick, caller, and turn down the background noise if you could. I'll be right with you. But please hit mute. This is the latest on Flacco. If you think Flacco and the Bengals aren't going to screw you, all right, you aren't muting yourself, so you clearly aren't listening. So I'm going to hang up on you. Flacco, shoulder, not practicing, but Wednesday's really tough to gauge because nobody, you know, is playing but Bowers this week. The whole field, every field is empty, but Bowers is out there, which is such good news. But I mean, this is just, he's not going to stay healthy. So JSN and Kyler, I know Kyler's been banged up, but he's probably coming back. I don't know. I'd take JSN or Kyler. Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels this week. Bo Nix has a really, really tough matchup. I'd probably say Jaden Daniels, but that's a tough call. Very tough call. Very tough call. Joe Burrow has screwed you twice. but not this year, says Big Rod. I don't blame anybody for avoiding Joe Burrow moving forward. I love Joe Burrow. We'll always have a soft spot in our heart for Joe Burrow. We love Joe Burrow. We love Jamar Chase. But Joe Burrow has trouble staying healthy. 12-team PPR, 2 flex. My team is Gibbs, Kyron, Pittman, Rice, Debo, BTJ, Garrett Wilson. Traded my Mahomes and Hunter for St. Brown and Caleb. But I also have Kyler, Darnold. Did I mess up other moves? I mean, look, St. Brown's a monster, bro. I kind of feel like Hunter. We don't know what Hunter is. Chat, vote on this one. Mahomes and Hunter or St. Brown, Caleb. I mean, St. Brown is miles above BTJ. We just don't. I'm sorry, Hunter. But we don't really know how. I mean, we could see Hunter play really a lot closer to St. Brown than maybe Caleb to Mahomes, though. You know, vote on that one. I'm going to be surprised if the chat isn't completely split on that one. It's such a tough one. St. Brown side. I think it depends on how you view Hunter. I guess because you got Kyler, you've got some upside to have like maybe something. So you probably want the St. Brown side. I mean, if we're drafting over, St. Brown goes top 15. Like, where's Mahomes going? Probably 3rd round, but it just depends on Hunter. It all comes down to Hunter. 8 Dynasty, Bo and McBride or Kraft for May and Ferguson. Bo and McBride or Kraft for May and Ferguson. Give me Bo and McBride or Kraft. I'd probably say if it was Kraft, even though I like Kraft, I'm not trying to demean Kraft, to belittle him, lower his value, discount him. But I think it's closer to say May and Ferguson over Kraft and Bo. But if it's McBride, it's Bo and McBride. But it's May's an outstanding quarterback, bro. 5-3. Do I send a 26 first for ETN? I have Tootin. No, that's too much in a dynasty. He's in declining mode, bro. You got to buy him low. That's way too much. Someone's gonna slip in and steal a first rounder away from you just because you're in panic mode about that maybe now's the time you're gonna be able to get him. I like ETN, but he could be worth nothing 2 weeks from now. Might be rebounding, but 4-4 first, points for, second in points against. JD5, JT, CMC, Bucky, Dowdle. Love the running back stable. Rice, London, Debo, Ferguson, and Kittle. Am I doing any trades? Rice, London, Debo, I like this team. I don't think so, man. I think I'm letting that ride. I mean, you could explore trading CMC for like a Lamb and something or a JSN and something because you're so good at RB. That would be what I would contemplate if I was to contemplate anything. Or, you go after a Henry and a St. Brown or something. But you have to get that kind of package for CMC. Past that, I'm kind of just intrigued by this depth that you have. I'd probably be fine just standing down. Would I maybe move like a Bucky for a JJ or something like that? Sure. That's it. I don't think I move much. That's a really good team. Full PPR, Superflex, 3 wide receiver. 6-2, Hurts and May, fantastic super flex quarterbacks, bro. Amon-Ra, Devontae Smith, Debo, Achane, Chuba, Bill, Woody, Tyler Warren, Kincaid, Pacheco. Any moves? Trying to get Dowdle would be a key desire of mine here. And, Woody and Devontae Smith for Dowdle and something, or Devontae Smith for Dowdle straight up if you could do that. Bill and Devontae Smith for Dowdle. Try that, Oscar. That would be fantastic. Try and do combos of that. Smith, Dowdle, JCM, and Smith, et cetera, just everything I said. Trade tight end Warren for Judkins. If you've got Gadsden, I'd take Judkins in a heartbeat. That's a fantastic trade. Rocky, thank you for the $10 super chat, my guy. Rocky to the mother freaking moon. And then this one real quick, which I missed, is trade Chase and Flacco for... No, I did that one. Okay. For Kyler and... Yeah, that's such a tough one, bro. Caller, mute yourself. I'll be right with you. Just hit mute, please. Devontae Adams for Rico Metcalf got accepted. Devontae Adams for Rico Metcalf got accepted. I'm fine with that. After scat injury, I have Dart, Flacco, Henry, Rico, Buka, Hunter, Metcalf, Tet, Kittle, records 4-4. I'd still strongly consider trading like a Tet or a Metcalf. Not saying I don't like that acquisition, but trying to move something. Maybe like a Metcalf and Hunter, Tet and Metcalf together for like one bigger JJ. Or even look at Kittle and Tet, Kittle and Metcalf, Kittle and Hunter for a JJ and something, or a wide receiver like that and something. Just kind of like a weird sidestep move that seems hard to pull off, but it would be worth it if you did get it pulled off from somebody that had one wide receiver but no wide receiver depth. 2 flex, 4-4, Mahomes, Dart, Gibbs, Judkins. Love the running backs. Chase Brown, wow. Love the running backs. Sorry about scat. Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Tet, Downs, Watson, Tez, Pitts moves. I don't think, unless I'm moving Tet and Chase Brown for a huge RB upgrade, or even with Judkins and Gibbs, and then you got Harvey and Tootin in the meantime, you could go Chase Brown and Tet for like JJ or a wide receiver like Nico or Buka and something. I wouldn't be afraid to go that direction either and just trust those running backs that way. All right, 602, you're live. What can I do for you? What's your name?
Steve, Smitty, what up, man?
What's up, Steve?
All right, so I'm going to call and gloat for myself because I would have called you end of the year, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on why you thought this way, because I think I pretty much won our bet at this point. And it was beginning of the season, and you were hard because you were a big Bucky Irving fan, and you still are. Granted, so
I mean, he got hurt, but okay.
So, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that, but you were so on Sean Tucker being his handcuff. And I told you Rachaad White was. And I just want to know, what was your thought? Just because he didn't want to be there does not justify, because always go by a player with a fifth-year contract.
No,
he's going to play hard to get out of there.
I don't always go off that. Look, the thing is, Sean Tucker's by far and away the better player. And so, unfortunately, this team didn't go in the direction of playing the better player. Now, Rachaad White just looked pathetic and awful. And if they do have to march
not
on
this year
game, if they do have to march on one more game, Sean Tucker might get more work this week or this coming week after the bye week. But what can I say other than I called it wrong what the coaches were going to do? But I will say that I still believe to this minute, and I won't change my mind, that Sean Tucker is the better running back. Sean Tucker is a monster. They just needed to feed him. They didn't. But this is the same debate, and you're right. You called what the coaches were going to do. You got it right. But does this mean Hendy's better than, or Rhamondre's better than Hendy, or Hendy's better than Rhamondre? We're all scratching our head on a lot of these coaching decisions. So what is it? It is. I tip my hat. You got it right. But he still wants out. I don't know that they're bringing him back. And it is logical that they want to get Sean Tucker going. And this story's not over yet. Like, let's just see. No, hold on a second. We're midway through the season, and there's a good chance Sean Tucker's taking over the backup role. Rachaad White was pitiful last week.
Well, I mean, the Saints do have a good rush defense, man. I mean, they do. But Rachaad White, for 8 weeks, has looked really good, even when Bucky was playing. And you were quite, scratching your head like, I don't know what's going on with Rachaad White. You know what I mean? But
it's mid-season.
In my opinion,
and gloat all you want, but we'll see what happens by the end of the year. If Sean Tucker takes over the backup role, I'm not going to say you won this thing. I don't care if Rachaad.
Well, I'll go back and I'll even say I'm wrong. You know,
but I think you're
and
right.
I'm not here to make you look bad or none. I'm just saying.
I don't feel bad.
My theory is any player, and this is any position, when they're on a last year rookie contract, dude. For statistically speaking, they play their asses off if they want to be there or not. One, because they want to get paid.
I get that, but you got to get started. You got to be played, and the indication, especially last year, how good Sean Tucker was when they leaned on him. Tucker's the better player. Wait and see what happens. Hopefully, he doesn't even need to play much. But if he to come in there, Sean Tucker is going to ball. but we'll see.
Yeah,
see. We
okay.
still got a
All
lot
right,
of
man.
time.
Well,
We got a lot of time left, and even if
it's to be continued. Okay.
even if the switch happens like in week 12 or something, like it's still, I believe Sean Tucker is the best. I will say this, as far as when you're correct, Bucky went down, and the running back that you should have had was Rachaad White, not Tucker, at this stage. So you have been correct as far as that goes. But
the only reason I'm calling because you were like, man, you were like yelling at me. You were wrong. You don't want to be there. I don't know if you remember this. You get so many calls. You got a lot of people. But man, you were like,
I kind of remember it. But here's the thing: is like, I'm trying to predict what the coaches are doing. Sometimes I don't get that right. I don't think I'm wrong on who's more talented. And I know you felt so differently about Rachaad White. You still think he's a glorious player. I think Rachaad White's mid. I think Sean Tucker's not an elite player, but he's definitely better than average. He's really good. And
you even agree what Rachaad White is. He's a phenomenal pass catcher, and that's what I was going off of. And his 5th-year contract.
But I think Sean. But it doesn't matter if they don't play him. Like the 5th-year contract, it does. Or the contract year does matter, but it doesn't mean he gets to decide to play. The coaching staff used him. The coaching staff was making it abundantly clear they're moving on from him. And Rachaad White made it abundantly clear in the offseason. This is his last year. The writing was on the wall that Sean Tucker is the eventual backup, but they took their time, and we'll see what happens. But right. Anything else, bro?
Okay. All right, buddy. All right, man.
All right, later. All right, let me hit these 3 super chats. We got this one from That Boy. Just sent Debo and Penix for Garrett Wilson. I very much like the Garrett Wilson side of that. Nice work, my boy. Kittle, Daniel Jones, and Moore, or Ferguson, Addison, Dart. Kittle, Daniel Jones, and DJ Moore for Ferguson, Addison, Dart. Give me the Daniel Jones Kittle side by quite a bit. It took me a minute to process that, but that's an easy call. We've got Marquez again. Appreciate you. 5-3. Mahomes, Chase Brown, Genty, London, McConkey, Gadsden, Hunter, Bowers. Bench? Is that what bench? Agbuka, Breece, Jennings, Hendy, Sharp Smith, and he moves. Mahomes, Genty, Chase Brown, London, McConkey. That's a pretty solid team. I guess maybe look. It's like they're hard to trade. These pieces are not. I think once Breece and Buka get back in, I really like this team. If you can start 3 running backs in, it makes a lot of sense. If you're putting, let's say you got Buka, London, McConkey. If you're putting one of McConkey, or you're putting Breece in the line. If you're putting one of McConkey or Chase Brown on the bench, then maybe we're trading McConkey and Chase Brown, or McConkey and Breece for like one player. You know, I don't know. It depends. But if you can start all those guys, then I'm fine just kind of standing down for a week. It's a lot of talent, but hard to move talent unless you could trade Breece, like I said, with McConkey high right now for one stud player. But I like the team. It's pretty crafty. Hang tight, caller, real quickly. I'll be right with you. Just hit mute if you could. 5-3, 10-man, 0.5. QBs are JD5, Knicks, Baker, Jacobs, Tracy, Mason, St. Brown, Pittman, Dobbs, Franklin, QJ, Warren. Just traded JD5 and Mason for Kyron and Goff. I like that. Also got Woody for QJ. I like that too. I think he made 2 great trades. So Goff and then Kyron. And then you've got Jacobs. I like that. And then St. Brown, Pittman, Franklin. Yeah, I like it a lot, bro. Not sure what else you could move other than maybe Tracy and Pittman for just a slight Pickens upgrade or something like that. That I would be very tempted to do. And thank you, by the way, for the $20 hauler. $20 hauler
alert.
Celebration.
Super chat alert.
Thank you, Stoke for Life. Appreciate you dropping the 20 wad, my boy. Thank you so much. And this one, Xavier says Justin Jefferson and Kittle for Garrett Wilson, Chase Brown, and Olave. Give me Kittle and JJ if you have depth. If you needed this move, like you're taking a gamble on Garrett Wilson. We don't really know what's going to happen off the bye week. And Chase Brown I love, but I like JJ more. And then Kittle, so it's like, how does Kittle play? Hard to say. I'm still exploring trading Kittle if I can, but I'm kind of leaning toward, this depends. Chad, if Garrett would you take the chance on Garrett Wilson coming back, Chase Brown continuing his play, Olave continuing his play, or do you want JJ and Kittle? McCarthy's concerning. Chat, vote on this one. I need at least 10 votes. I'm torn on it. Xavier, I'm going back and forth. Let's see what the chat says. I'm leaning toward JJ, but I could be convinced to go the other way in just 1 millisecond of chat voting. I'm really torn on that one. My team is Hurts, Bijan, Bucky, Judkins, love it. Woody, Buka, Garrett Wilson, Tet, Ladd, Kittle, love it. League mate offered me Nico for my Bucky. Take it. I think because you got Bijan, Judkins, and Woody, I like this move. I take Nico. Then you got Nico, Buka. I'd take Nico. I love Bucky, but we're hoping that we're getting Nico production off Bucky off his return. We don't even know if Bucky will be eased back in a little bit. Judkins or Johnston. Come on, bro. Come on. DH, you're not really asking me Quentin Johnston or Judkins. You aren't really asking that question right now. Please tell me you aren't asking. Please tell me you've absorbed enough of my show. I feel like I failed you. Galaxy, I feel like I failed you asking me Judkins or Quinshawn Johnston? Judkins or Johnston? QJ? Zero catch QJ? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we really doing here?
Take a big laugh.
I feel like I failed people. 704, I got to go quickly because I got super chats here. So as fast as you can, what's your question? I appreciate you. You're live.
What's up, Smitty? This is Nick here. With Judkins on a bye this week, I have a decision between Bill and Harvey. What do you think for a starter?
Do you really have a decision to make? What is Bill doing lately? And it's not Bill's fault, but it doesn't matter. Bill's not getting the volume or the good carries or the opportunities. And Harvey just had a hat trick. So I think I'm rolling with hat trick Harvey. I'm not saying we know exactly how it's going to work this week and the matchup isn't exactly glory, but I don't know. Chad, are you going JCM or are you going to go hat trick Harvey off a real bad matchup?
Now, question, does JD5 starting change that at all for you?
Maybe, but we don't know until we see it. You can experiment it for us, and we'll see how it goes. Can we watch you deploy JCM this week?
No,
Why don't you do it? And we'll see. Let's go off of what he does.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go hat trick Harvey.
Okay, makes sense. That's probably what I'll do.
All right, later, bro.
Thank you. Bye.
Quentin Johnston versus Quinshawn Judkins. I never thought I'd see that question cross my chat. 12-man league, 4-4. Lamar, Dart, Bucky, Judkins, Woody, Sharps, Dowdle, Chase, Rice, Olave, DJ, Moore, Kittle, Gadsden. Any moves? Bucky, Judkins. I like this team a lot. Dowdle, love it. Maybe Woody or Sharps. Chase Rice is unbelievable. Woody or Sharps with DJ Moore. Woody or Sharps with Olave. Maybe Woody or Sharps with Gadsden or Kittle. Olave and Kittle. Maybe Olave and Kittle or Olave and Gadsden. Two of those guys for one wide receiver, my boy. One monster JJ wide receiver using that combination. Sheesh with a $49.99 super chat, $50 hauler. Appreciate you, Sheesh Coin. Let me throw that on screen. We got this one here. Let me throw that on. Let me get all these super chats on screen at least. Oscar, do I have Oscar super chat? Keeper 5, I got that. We'll put that right there. All right, this one's for Sheesh. Appreciate you.
$50. Give me $50.
Sheesh. Need running back help, brother. Do I take a lap if I give Judkins and Buka for Marks and Genty? Phone lines are closed, unfortunately, guys. I'm sorry. I just closed them. Need a running back help, brother. Do I take a lap if I give Judkins and Buka for Marks and Genty? Yes. Absolute fat monster lap. I love both Genty and Marks, but I love Judkins and Buka. Just taking a big fat lap. Monster lap. Don't do it. My wide receivers are Lamb, Buka, Hunter, Terry. Yeah. Don't do that, bro. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here. I mean, just the bye week, is that it? You just don't want the Judkins bye week? I think you could get Genty much cheaper. Marks much cheaper. You could go get a Rico Dowdle right now, pretty cheap. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. Would I trade Hunter for Rico straight up? I'd probably do that if I needed to. Scary Terry for Monty, just to survive a week or something like that. Something like that would work. 2 and 6. Thank you for the 50. Fantasy, thank you. 2 and 6, 10 team PPR. May, Henry, Kyron, Tracy. Love that. Bam or Tracy's tradable. Spears, Bam or Tracy. RJ Keep, Manungai's nice, crafty hold. CD Rice, unbelievable. Is it Garrett Wilson that you're listing after Shakir? Maybe because of the bye week or something, but I don't know what the disrespect is there. Evans, why is Evans still on your roster? Maybe you're just showing me. Just showing me so I don't get mad and say, who'd you draft? All right. Ferguson still has some trade value. So we'll trade Ferguson away. Ferguson, Tracy, Ferguson, Spears, Ferguson, Bam, Shakir, Garrett Wilson and Ferguson, Garrett Wilson and Bam, Garrett Wilson, Spears, Garrett Wilson, Tracy for one slight upgrade. I just keep plugging away trying to get those players that kind of fall in line with that. Down from JJ down to Buka, down to Nico injured, down to Adams potentially. That might be the end of the road. Kyron, obviously Henry, Barkley, HN, Judkins fits the bill. You got Henry and Kyron, so I'm probably leaning more wide receiver. Well, I don't know. You're pretty good. I mean, you kind of balanced in a way. But if I got rid of Rice, if I did a Rice and Spears or Rice and Bam, and it wasn't just Ferguson and something, like you could even go Kittle. You could go Kittle and Bam, Kittle and Spears, keep Ferguson potentially. Because Kittle, we don't know if Kittle's going to be blocking all year. So you're getting a JJ, you're getting a Nico, you're getting a Buka, you're getting a Adams potentially in that type of move. Thank you for the super chat, young man. Mac, thank you, Mac. Would you trade Marks for Hunter? I think it's really close. I lean Hunter by a hair, but position of need could definitely dictate which side I lean, I guess. Keeper, 0.5 PPR, 3 and 5 Bo Nix, JJ, JSM, Pickens, Harvey, Walker, Sharps, Debo, Watson, Kyler. Can also trade Pickens or picks. Okay. Probably not going to win this year. Any ideas on a rebuild? I'm not trading JJ. I'm not trading JSN. I'm not trading Pickens. Not trading Harvey. Definitely trading Walker. I'd sell Bo High if I needed to replace it. But getting a quarterback's tough, so be careful. But Walker and, I mean, you have Kyler, which I don't know. Kyler's okay, I guess. You could trade Bo if the price was right and roll with Kyler, but I don't know. I guess I would try and move like Walker for, I don't think you're getting a first rounder or anything, but maybe you're moving Walker and a first rounder for one player, you know? See if somebody would give you, I mean, I've seen people give up Neighbors for one first round pick. If you threw Walker in, could you get an injured, recovering ACL torn Neighbors? Maybe. Could you trade Walker and a first rounder for Nico, for Buka, for, I mean, I'm kind of thinking outside the box here that, like, it might seem counterintuitive to try and go get a better player than Walker, but you throw first rounders in and people get weird. And Buka may be concerning somebody. He's harder to trade for in Dynasty, but, man, people are trying to give him away. It's wild. I don't understand the panic on Buka. It's almost like people feel like it's a falling knife. Walker and a first rounder for Judkins would make some sense. Walker and a first rounder for injured Bucky. Walker and a first rounder for Achane. Walker and a first rounder maybe for Chase Brown and something. Could be intriguing. I'm definitely moving. Just because I'm rebuilding doesn't mean I keep the first round pick. Sometimes I trade them for the players. From earlier, I traded Wan'Dale Robinson and ETN for Bucky, not Waddle. Wan'Dale Robinson and Etienne for Waddle. Or for Bucky. For Bucky. Okay, traded Wan'Dale and... Yeah, that's great, bro. Wan'Dale Robinson... I'm sorry. I keep saying Brian... Did I say Brian Robinson? Wan'Dale Robinson and Etienne for Bucky. I love that. I'm fine with that. Healing, do I give Jamar Chase or Rice both week 10 buys for Amon-Ra? No, I don't. First place match that week. I'm the Lions fan. I don't do it, though. I don't. I mean, I like Rice more. I'm not doing it because of a bye week. No, thank you. If you got something additional that was like massive, I'm not talking about like something small, bro. I don't let your Lions fandom get in the way. Plus, bro, the last thing in the world you want is to have, let's say you got hurt or something, and then you're down about the Lions and you're down about losing St. Brown, and it's like a double whammy, double kick to the nads. Like, keep it separate, bro. H.N. Henry for Adams, Chase, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown. Offer H.N. and Henry for Adams, Chase Brown, and Vidal. Offer my H.N. and Henry for Adams, Chase Brown, and Vidal. It's not bad, but I'd probably rather have H.N. and Henry. But it's not bad, Rock Out. It's not awful if you did it. It's not the end of the world. And start to MHJ, Debo, Woody, Hunt, or Bam. Probably going to go with Woody and Debo, assuming everything looks good. And if not, I'd probably lean toward Hunt instead of Debo. But let's trade away Woody for Rico. Yeah, we've talked about that. Or Rico or Debo. I want Rico over Debo, but I would trade Woody for Rico, yes. Thank you for the super chat, Fulbrook. Goff, Swift, H.N., Chase. Thank you, Gerald, for the super chat here. Lost Skattebo to injury. Hall, Egbuka, 8-0. Wow, 8-0. We haven't seen a lot of 8-0 teams. I don't think I've seen an 8-0 all week. That's great. And 12-man. Thinking about trading Hall for Mahomes, I'm fine with that. If I could swing it, yeah, absolutely. He's just a monster, bro. He's just a monster scorer. I love it. I'm fine with it. Hall, I love, but he's volatile. And you got H.N. and Swift. And I mean, would I trade? I mean, you could argue Swift over Hall, though. But would I rather trade Swift for him? Probably. But I could live to regret that. Swift's been playing great ball. But this is a good team. And the thing is, Goff is playing well. Hall could continue to play well, but Hall could continue to play volatile football. He really, really, really could. I take the consistent fantasy football scoring in Mahomes, but it's really close. Now, would I take a Hall or a Mahomes over a Nico type player or a James Cook? Like, no, of course not. Rather Cook or Nico or St. Brown or any of those guys. But we're talking about Breece Hall. It's like, if you're drafting for weeks 9 on, where would Breece go? Second round? Probably not. Probably third round. Somewhere in there, but I don't think anyone's pushing him into round 2 yet. They're excited. We're all excited about Breece Hall, but we need to see a little bit more. His situation is a little ambiguous. He's going into a bye week. I think him and Mahomes have similar value in a draft if we're drafting today. 3 and 5 QBs are May, Nix, Cook, Genty, Sharbs, Bill, Harvey, Garrett Wilson, Adunze, Debo, Hunter, McBride, Fannin. Any move St. Brown owner might consider Genty and Debo. I'd take that. Genty and Debo for St. Brown. I'd do that. And you get Hendy as well. It's fantastic. I'd definitely do that. Genty and Debo, you could go after Nico. You could also go after Egbuka and something. Genty and Debo for Judkins and a wide receiver. I'd explore all those as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, midnight Eastern. This is the 8 p.m. show. We're going to give away the glasses tonight. I'm sorry. We ran out of time tonight. We're giving it away today, though. Don't worry. We're giving it away. Tonight, we'll give away the glasses on the Patreon. So basically, if you want to be a part of the giveaway, go to the Patreon. The link is pinned in the live chat. Here's the link in the description. The link's in the description of the video. The link's also being dropped right here. So if you want to get a pair of Gunner glasses, the ones we're giving away, though, are going to be the Fallout
the Gunner Player of the Week.
Brought to you by Gunner.com.
We're going to give away the Fallout pair. This is from the Fallout cartoon, series or whatever the hell it is. They got so many amazing promotions going on. We're giving out a pair of the Fallout tonight. You got to be a part of the Patreon, so click the Patreon link right here. I'm gonna grab through a hat. You'll hear all about it tonight. I'll basically say I'm creating a post on the Patreon, so you want to be a part of it, and then you just got to comment under the question that I'm gonna create live. So I'm just gonna say this is the post, and then everyone's gonna go to that post in the general topic on my Patreon and say me, and I'm gonna write all the names where I see people comment under it, and then put you in the hat, and then we'll draw you. Caps won last night the hoodie. So Vincent with the final super chat of the evening. Trade away Kittle and Watson for Bowers, Hunter, Dart, Bijan, Achane, Chase Brown, Rico, Nico, now Bowers and Hunter. 4 and 4. What do you think? I don't know what in the hell you wrote here, Vincent. You got slashes all over the place. I have no idea what they mean. Traded Kittle, Watson for Bowers, Hunter, Dart, Dak, Bijan, Achane. I don't know what in the hell I'm looking at here. Traded Kittle, Watson for Bowers, Hunter. Is this maybe like after Hunter it's a break and then you're just reading your team? Kind of think that's maybe what you're doing. Okay, so traded Kittle and Watson for Bauer. Guys, be clear. Use punctuation and stop this slash shit. Over and over. Now, I don't know what the slashes usually mean and or, and people use them in all these kinds of ways. I can't read a single thing I'm looking at. Kittle, Watson for Bowers and Hunter. I'd take Bowers and Hunter. If you did that, you pulled off an amazing trade, Vincent. Amazing trade. Team looks fantastic. Bijan, Achane, Chase Brown, Rico, Nico, Bowers, Hunter, 4 and 4. You're probably going to lose one game the rest of the regular season. Love the squad. Any more moves? Still have Hendy, Gadsden. I mean, if you got Gadsden and Bowers, you're trading Gadsden and something. Gadsden and Chase Brown for a running back upgrade. Gadsden and Hunter for a wide receiver upgrade like JJ or something like that. Vincent, Gadsden gives you the world potentially. Love the squad. Nice team. Unbelievable. See you all tonight. Don't forget, Patreon. Here's the link one more time. It's in the live chat pinned. It's in the description of the video. I'm going to be going to the Patreon, so you might want to sign up now to give away a pair of Fallout blue light blocking glasses just like these bad boys. You want a pair of these bad boys? Look, indented on my nose. They fit so well. Blue light blocking. Do it live. See you on the stream tonight, midnight Eastern. Deuce.